I use the 500 shillings daily bundle.
I use the monthly bundle with 1 GB data.
Wait! AfriCell has all internet bundles.
Really?
Yes, all internet bundles from 10 MB to 100 GB from 1 hour to 1 year on the widest coverage at the cheapest price ever.
Wow!
Dial *133# now and select the bundle you need with the fastest speed and the best quality.
So AfriCell is really the king of the bundles.
Raise the praise. Get inspiration. Rise up every morning with a song of praise to the Lord. A day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. Soul Moment, every Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
Join us in a live broadcast of The Situation Room on Wednesday, 23rd March 2016 at 3 p.m. under the theme, Outlook for Multi-Party Democracy, Where is Uganda Headed? The venue is Makerere University Main Hall and the general public is invited. The Situation Room is supported by
Isa yalagula Yesu ngali je mabega. Akali mu mufunzi.
Yesu ne Isa ani asookawo munne.
Isa.
Buli lwotayogera na muntu kutegeera bimukwata kutosobola kumutegeera yenna tekisoboka.
Nomboka era ndako yakatugamba nti Abaganda mbwanja alaje kasukire gumba jegenda. Kala kagamba akukano.
Obote. Wateekwa okubaawo eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa. Eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa okutuusa okunnyonnyola kwabwe okutegeerekeka okutangaza ebibakwatako. Conqueror of the British Empire. Naye nga Wakamu bimuyita, Wakamu amuyitanga mutya?
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. Kuwuliriza, kufumiitiriza, kukola, kwogera. Nina.
Tuwaye. Bwe yamala okutuula ngenda okutunula mu kibatu kyange kino kyentaddeko bwendi nga muvaamu ebiwuka ng'ensolosozi.
Ebimu byewuunyisa binakuwaza ebirala bikyusa obulamu.
Omuntu atasomye atya n'okuyingira ofiisi naye ng'omanyi nti nina omukyala n'abaana awaka nakinkola nina ne bizinesi naye ntya n'okuyingira ofiisi eno okwennyonnyolako.
Eddoboozi lye njogerako. Tuwaye.
Wanna make some cash? Just dial *185#. Pay your bills, load data, or buy airtime. You could also send some cash. Come on, use Airtel money. You could win a lot of cash.
All you gotta do is dial *185#. Then you get to
Yola, Yola, Yola. Yola, Yola. Dial *185# and Yola. Yola Maja with Airtel money. Dial *185# and transact.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Where did you take her, you bastard?
You became my enemy, Pilar. You decided to play a very dangerous game, and that has consequences. And one of those consequences is that you won't be able to see your sister again.
Where did you take her,
No, Pilar, don't get rough. Don't get rough. Don't get rough.
Mrs. Eva. Mr. Renato, I'm going to identify the body. Mr. Renato, would you like to come?
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Molondo.
A very good morning and welcome to this edition of Morning at NTV's Big Stories, the 21st day of March 2016. And this morning, we have the honor and privilege to start our week on a high note by hosting who I regarded earlier on as Mukwano Gwabanji, the Lord Mayor of Kampala, capital city. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Lord
It's
Mayor
my
Elias
pleasure. I'm honored.
More honored for us to have you here. Of course,
Sure.
the conversation will hinge about his election first in January of 2011. In November of 2013, he's voted out of the office in that acrimonious way that we all remember correctly. Come February 2016, he's re-elected, this time with even a bigger margin, to the same office. Question is, will he remain at the stairs of City Hall? Will he remain within the precincts of City Hall? Or will he be relegated to his Wakariga home, as has been the case for the last close to 4 years while he was Lord Mayor? That and more is our discussion on The Big Story. Stay with us. Back to this edition of Morning at NTV. It's The Big Story. My name is Simon Kasiati. Good morning, my lord.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning, viewers.
Well, I must make a correction there. You were elected in March of 2011 and to serve a 5-year term as Lord Mayor of Kampala. You barely were in the office long enough to warm the seat, and you were booted. Now you are back with gusto and bravado. Business as usual. What do you have up your sleeve? Let's start from there. Will you go back to City Hall, especially that padlocks are glaring at you?
Well, certainly, if the people of Kampala
Beautiful personalized number plated car that I see you driving in lately.
It's now a castle of sorts.
I know you have run it down.
It's dilapidated.
But let's look at, away from the whole need to be in the office and all that. Elias, I think I need us now to shift the conversation to what you have up your sleeve in terms of deliverables for we, the citizens of Kampala. I mean, for the last 5 years, yes, we've seen your battles with the technical team of KCCA led by the good lady Jennifer Musisi. But we would love to get the confidence with regard to your plans in terms of tangible things that you want to do as a Lord Mayor. What are going to be some of the areas you're going to have your fingers very firmly on?
To begin with, the question of reconstituting the governance structure is critical, is crucial. Many times you people tend to treat it as if it doesn't matter. You know, let's focus on service delivery. Forget about those governance issues, as if they don't matter at all. But believe me, you, Simon, and the viewers there's no way you can talk of quality service delivery unless you have a vibrant, robust institution called the KCCA. As of now, that institution is non-existent.
Why say so? I mean, we see beautiful branded cars. We see guys coming out saying, I'm the spokesperson of KCC. We see Jennifer Musisi superintending over city carnivals. We see some roads being painted with the tar. We see some street lights coming up, others going down. We see some hawkers running away for dear life because there's KCCA law enforcement officers. How do you say that body doesn't exist?
Yeah, there's what we call political grandstanding or posturing. That's what is happening in Kampala. You can see people pretending to be working in the name of KCCA, but within the meaning of the law, KCCA is not there. What do I mean? If you looked at the provisions of the authority, the KCCA Act, specifically Section 6, it spells out the composition of KCCA. The Lord Mayor, Deputy Lord Mayor, and the authority councillors. And then there are entities under KCCA. And it's that entire body that constitutes the governance structure in Kampala. That's what is called the KCCA. In a nutshell, the elected leadership. As we talk right now, even those who claim to be there are just doing nothing. So you have no Lord Mayor in place because my office is locked. Neither do you have the Deputy Lord Mayor, and the councillors are redundant. Those who are exiting, they are outgoing. They have been redundant for the last 2 years. And of course, even the division urban councils. Well, the point I'm making here, we need to re-establish, reconstitute the governance structure.
How is
corporate
that
governance
going to be done?
is important. How is it going to be done?
Especially given that you as an individual and the technical head, Jennifer Musisi, as an individual, seem to have a lot of simmering bad blood between the two of you.
There is nothing personal.
Are you coming in with conciliatory approaches, or are you coming in with gusto and bravado of people of Kampala right behind me.
It's always
Better
said
than
it takes
my
two
will.
to tango. Have you seen reciprocity on the other side? For starters, have you seen anyone from the government circles recognizing me as now elected, or even congratulating me?
Have you received a congratulatory letter?
Where? Nobody has congratulated me. Not even the official government spokesperson to go on record that yes, we do extend a congratulatory message to the newly elected Lord Mayor. They don't need to recognize me as the existing one, much as the law says I'm still in office. But I know because of ego or something else, they may not do that. But at least recognize that the will of the people has returned.
Maybe one would
as
say
the Lord Mayor
that
of Kampala.
one wrong doesn't make a right, that if they are not going that direction, you put yourself in that situation and perhaps offer the olive branch. Let them reject it, but you will have heard it.
So where do you want me to issue that statement from?
Well, you're here on a public dais.
Oh my God, I'm here for a discussion, not to make the official communication in my capacity as the Lord Mayor. What we are doing right now is to thrash out some issues. But the issue is, let them reopen the office of the Lord Mayor, because even my term has not expired. Let them reinstate the office, actually. It should be.
So that at least the current Lord Mayor can hand over to the newly elected Lord Mayor.
Exactly. I access the Lord Mayor's parlor. We go work out all the necessary modalities of ushering in a new government. Of course, they have, if you looked at the attrition rate, as far as councillors are concerned.
Oh, heavy. It's the mortality rate.
The mortality rate there.
Well, as pictures of your election day, receipt of results where you are declared duly elected Lord Mayor play out on the screens, I would love to also put it back beyond the governance structure. Yes. There must be certain things that you also have your eyes on. Like, for example, to expand the word governance, of course, we're talking about issues like, having a graft-free KCCA, ensuring that service delivery does actually come and be realized by the people of Kampala. Roads are made better more than what we are seeing at the moment. So what do you have as your priorities?
Number one, I've mentioned this time and again, it's the question of crafting a new plan, a new blueprint for Kampala.
At this point, are we still at drafting? I thought this you had your armpit.
Oh, sure, it is not there. We used to have one which was prepared by the colonialists, and it was supposed to be reviewed every after 10 years. So we last reviewed it in 2004, and it was considered obsolete. It expired.
Absolutely.
So
and you didn't review it in 2014?
We didn't.
Because you were not in office?
I wasn't in office, and we needed not renew it because surely it was designed for a totally different generation. Our generation ought to have come up with a new one, and that's why we commissioned the consultants from Israel and South Africa, their own consultants.
Elias, you're speaking, and I thank you for holding this show in such high regard that you must speak from the clouds. But I'm now putting the questions to you as a Kampala resident who has now just seen a new mayor in Elias Rukagono, who's been following the acrimonious relations you've had with KCCA. What do I stand to benefit from your presence at City Hall as the Lord Mayor? What am I going to see different from the old guard? What am I going to see different that's going to give me relief in the fact that possibly I voted right and had you there as my Lord Mayor?
First and foremost, to have your voice heard in all the policy-making processes. Because right now there is no nexus between the leadership at KCCA and the people out there. So it's just a master-slave relationship. You wait for orders to come from State Hall and you have to comply. Or if you question, you end up in the gallows. So, in jail. So basically, that's the relationship. It's a master-slave relationship. But now, this governance structure I'm talking about, and you seem not to appreciate the full import of that, the significance.
Convince me. Because you see, like I told you in the previous discussions we've discussed,
the policy-making process hinges on that. There's no way your aspirations will ever be reflected will ever be reflected in any of the policies running the city, unless you have directed leadership in place. There is no way you are going to hold the accounting officers accountable for their omissions and commissions.
Right over there.
Yes.
Of course, accounting officers ought to be held accountable.
Yes.
What message are you sending to them? Are you saying you will have a zero tolerance? I mean, I'm just giving you an answer, but certainly one would want to see a new Lord Mayor that comes in to ensure that there is no bleeding of the coffers of the KCCA, who will ensure that when money is earmarked for a road, it is, number one, the right amount as should be, due process has been taken, that a proper contractor has been put in place through the proper governance structure of getting contracts through, and that a road that's supposed to be built over 1 year is built not in 6 years, but in the stipulated 1 year, perhaps even less. You know, that's the kind of talk we would want maybe to hear from you, unless, of course, I'm missing the guy.
Basically, that is the point. That's the whole essence of having a functional institution called the KCCA with checks and balances. All its organs functioning normally in accordance with the law. And that's why during the tribunal proceedings I mentioned that KCCA is suffering from multiple organ failure. Those institutions that are supposed to check the excesses of the accounting officers are non-existent. They are non-functional because right now you don't have a functional public accounts committee. The powers are vested in the office of the Lord Mayor under Section 58 to appoint one. I executed my duties, but they are supposed to be ratified. The decision made by the Lord Mayor has to be vetted, ratified by the authority, and then
implemented.
No, not implemented at that point. Of course, we have to forward the appointees to the minister in charge of Kampala for vetting. I did all that. The names were approved by the authority, and what was left was for the minister in charge of Kampala to vet them.
And that's never seen the light of day.
It never happened. So now you are supposed to get quarterly reports for public scrutiny. Not only you, the technical people, to scrutinize, I mean the members of the Public Accounts Committee and the authority to scrutinize, but even members of the public. That is not there. You do not have a planning unit in place right now because Section 21 and 22 talks of a Metropolitan Physical Planning Authority, and it's the minister to appoint 6 members. And myself, I'm supposed to represent the authority on that body. And we're supposed to come up with a plan, a comprehensive plan for the transformation of Kampala. First, the structure plan, but of course also a transport plan. Not only for Kampala alone, but even the metropolitan area, Wakiso, Mpigi, and the neighboring areas. So right now, you don't have any.
Why?
So for you are interested in mentioning specifics like that I'll do away with traffic jam, I will help you get rid of the potholes, this. Drainage and so on. It's not about mentioning that. No.
It's a lot more that requires proper deliberate planning. I think
deliberate planning. And you cannot have a shortcut on that.
Yes. And the issue of politics obviously will have to come into play, like it has done has been done in the past. The reason why you're going through these woes that you have suffered as Lord Mayor, elected in 2011, barely sat in your office, is because you probably do not ascribe to the political narrative of the ruling regime. That, of course, your expulsion and being expanded has not cowed you. If in anything, it has emboldened you to remain with your divergent political views. What is your expectation that the relations and all this well-meaning good policy that you have up your sleeve will be received with glee and you'll work well with whichever minister of Kampala will come in and the city will run smoothly? If that doesn't happen, what's your plan B? Because you cannot remain the Lord Mayor in absentia. You possibly have a better word to put it, but you cannot just be a Lord Mayor without your chains
in
abeyance.
Well, that's very, very unfortunate that for the last 2 years we have had that acrimonious relationship or situation. And I am not about to plead guilty for whatever situation we are witnessing, we are contending with right now. Certainly, it is President Museveni and his team who are responsible for this. Why? He has always mentioned, in no uncertain terms, actually he has been categorical rather, on this, that look here, every electoral area that returns opposition politicians, not only the Lord Mayor or councillors or MPs, but across the board. If you bring opposition politicians,
you are doomed. You
will not benefit from government programs.
Doesn't that bother you as
And throughout the campaigns,
who is thriving with a council that is largely opposition, with all the members of parliament from the 5 divisions of Kampala being opposition?
Exactly. This is the reason why I was saying the ball is in the court of President Yoweri Museveni. Is he about to undergo a paradigm shift of sorts, or to change his attitude and realign his mindset to the new reality that indeed the people of Kampala want the opposition in charge of the city affairs, because they have not only elected the opposition-leaning Lord Mayor, but 90% of the councillors are opposition, all the MPs are opposition, all the 5 mayors of division urban councils, for information, they are all opposition, and majority of the councillors at that level, they are all opposition. So what is he going to do with this body of elected leadership, all affiliated to the, all opposition leaning? What is he going to do? Because he has already said, we are rats, all we want is to come and eat.
So in other words, whatever
yes.
it is, you are emboldened in your stance, and you say, well, let's wait for President Museveni to move his first pawn on this chessboard. But suffice to say, Elias, as we go through all this, your political work, as it were, I mean, you're a Lord Mayor now, but of course we've seen you as Lord Mayor, you've been involved in activism and political activity spanning across the country. I saw you in my home district of Rukunjiri. Those in Naguru have seen you. Those even in Karamoja have seen you. Countrywide, you have been. Was it because of the times that we're in an election period, or this is what's going to be your standard modus operandi, that you'll be going places and places, supporting by elections here, going here and there, supporting a beleaguered local council chairperson, you know, things of that nature? How much political activism are you left to do now, even with this Herculean task of ensuring that the people who elected you receive proper success?
But Simon, you must appreciate we are faced with a national crisis, which calls for
a national intervention.
Intervention, exactly, like from all of us.
You're spreading yourself thin.
I'm telling you, no, not spreading myself thin, because it's a call, it's a duty, it's a constitutional command. If you looked at the provisions of Article 3, where there are situations of that nature, it's a duty for me to rise up. Today you are talking of Dr. Chiza Besigye being incarcerated in his home for over 30 days now. You are talking of General Sejusa is languishing in prison. This man from your home district, the general, is also crying foul that he was shot in the foot by Sujui on the command of the CDF.
Shot by crime preventers.
By crime preventers. You see the Right Honorable Mama Mbabazi is also facing it rough, and so on and so forth. So you can see a country which is not stable, a country which has no what I would say, a structure that would ensure that there's continuity.
And like the priest said in one of our news stories, the priest was saying us, man, you're not going to offer yourself to die for all humankind. Your blood is not enough to cover all. And one would say, Elias, you're not going to be the magic bullet that's going to fix the malaise at Sejusa's home. You're not. I saw you are his lawyer. You're not going to be the magic bullet that's going to sort out that bullet in Tumukunde's leg. You're not going to be the magic bullet that's going to sort out the Besigye's 30-day incarceration. You're not going to be the magic bullet that's going to sort out a problem in Kanungi, a problem in whatever. Why don't you concentrate and be that magic bullet that is going to sort out the malaise of the situation in Kampala as your nucleus? And then,
how do you divorce?
So that we of Kampala don't feel that we are orphaned by our good Lord Mayor, who rather than attend to our needs, residual needs, is out trying to liberate an entire country.
You see, you're talking of concentrating in Kampala here. Is everything okay in Kampala? You can see the heavy deployment,
exactly
like Kololo is almost a barracks. You've seen all the junctions in Kampala, it's the same story. And
that's why we say,
even with the finances, the finances I would need to fix the problems in Kampala. You have to get from the consolidated fund. You've had the stories, the 34 billion is missing in Bank of Uganda, 27 billion is gone. So where would the money come from to fix the problems of Kampala? So you cannot isolate these issues of Kampala from the national crisis we are faced with. So holistically, we have to address the crisis we are facing as a nation. And that's why I'm requesting you, Simon, don't also focus your attention on this morning show only at NTV here. You have a duty under the Constitution to spare some time address your minds to the crisis we are faced with as a nation and make your contribution.
I have a brother who is standing as a Lord Councillor in one of the divisions of Kampala. You know that for a fact. And after here, I want to have a conversation with you so that when you bring that boy into the chambers of KCC as one of your councillors, certainly you will be very sure that I will also have my voice in there because he listens to me as his younger brother. But suffice as we conclude, at a very personal level, and let's even act a bit gossipy. When was the last time you received a phone call from Jennifer Musisi?
Why would I receive one?
I will ask you the rationale of her calling. That one I will ask her why she would call you, but when was the last time you received a phone call from her? Well, if at all.
To the best of my recollection, I think it was way back in 2012.
When was the last time you met, like a meeting with you, like, face to face?
Face to face?
That famous picture when she was putting a robe around you? And swearing in?
No. Subsequently, we had, by the way, I had fruitful meetings, even between us at State Hall in our office, and even the authority meetings we would meet, we would interact, we would exchange.
So you've only met in that restricted official setting at KCCA in the course of your work?
Yeah, certainly.
The Honorable Frank,
you would expect me to...
The Honorable Frank Thomas, when is the last time he called
you? I can't recall, honestly.
When was the last time you and him met?
No, I used to go to his office here, at the President's office, quite often, here in Kampala.
And he accorded you audience and you spoke? And
we would meet together with the mayors of division urban councils, and of course, we would interact and interface with him, put on table quite a number of issues. Unfortunately, he seemed not to have enough time to address the concerns we were raising.
When was the last time?
And at one time he left us in his office and went to see. He went away. He said he would come and oh my God. Anyway,
that's the conversation for another day. But of course, it speaks into the kind of respect he held for you at all.
But I hold him in high esteem.
When was the last time you picked up your phone and tried to call Jennifer Musisi, if at all you have her number?
For what reason, honestly?
That's the olive branch I'm talking about. Reaching out.
For what? For what reason? Because the office is locked as we talk right now. So why would I call her?
So these conversations and acrimonious relations were playing out largely in a stage where there was no interpersonal connectivity, or did you have emissaries that you sent to each other, that you maybe sent to each other? Does she receive messages?
For the first 3 years at State Hall, honestly speaking, we were on talking terms, and we would exchange communications. Only that when it came to matters of accountability, that's where we had a problem, insisting on the reports of the contracts committee. We are saying I was not supposed to interfere because mine is eyes on, hands off. But likewise, this committee is also supposed to be independent of our office. They are supposed to do their work.
Eyes on, hands on.
Yes, certainly. And then under Section 66, they are supposed to give us quarterly reports to enable us to do our work of monitoring, of oversight, and so on and so forth. But all these were denied to us. She created a barricade there and said, no way, a Berlin Wall of sorts, that this is a no-go area for you. And that complicated matters, because how would I continue doing my work if you have denied me that crucial information?
Elias, obviously, conversation between you and the big story will continue, and obviously, even before you take office in terms of swearing in, we'll have had you here to converse, especially about your first 100 days. There is a preliminary discussion after your election as Lord Mayor, and I know that you are quite a very amiable gentleman when it comes to honoring our invitations, and we extend the next invitation to come here at least next month, so that we can have you monthly to share with us what your plans and your dispositions, and of course,
and the specifics you people want to talk about: floods, traffic jam, things to do with the congestion, trade order, you know, those issues you always want.
That's why I've deliberately left out my question on vendors and the presence of the
you know, you want us to go into
but certainly the conversation will continue.
Yeah, sure.
For the viewers, it's been a pleasure holding forth with you and having you stay tuned to this conversation between I and the Lord Mayor of Kampala, Elias Olukwago, who obviously has spoken a bit of this and that, but very specifically telling you that the situation that he's faced with requires a national approach. It's dire, insurmountable. He wants to use those words, and oftentimes he gets it really right on the head. And so the conversation will obviously continue. For about now, let's take a breather. When we return, it's Everyday Alive with Brian Mulondo, but I'm thankful that after that there will be more quality programming with the sports and then more Cynthia. Stay with us.
You're watching Morning at NTV. You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Mulondo.
I use the 500 shillings daily bundle.
I use the monthly bundle with 1 GB data.
Wait! Africell has all internet bundles.
Really?
Yes, all internet bundles from 10 MB to 100 GB from 1 hour to 1 year on the widest coverage at the cheapest price ever.
Wow!
Dial *133# now and select the bundle you need with the fastest speed and the best quality.
So Africell is really the king of the bundles.
Raise the praise. Get inspiration. Rise up every morning with a song of praise to the Lord. A day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. Soul Moment, every Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
Wanna make some cash? Just dial *185#. Pay your bills, load data, or buy airtime. You could also send some cash. Come on, use Airtel money. You could win a lot of cash.
All you gotta do is dial *185#. Then you get to Yola.
Dial *185# and Yola Maja with Airtel money. Dial *185# and transact.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Raise the praise. Get inspiration. Rise up every morning with a song of praise to the Lord. A day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. Soul Moment, every Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
Ekifo ekimu kissa wamusu n'ekyalo ekiweddeko abamanye bakiraza mumwa. Tugenda kutuuka gy'oli oyogere naffe ebikwata ku kyalo kyo, embeera mw'okolera, ebyobufuzi, ebyobulamu n'ensonga endala nnyingi. Ebyogerwa tebiyita. Tuusa eddoboozi lyo, yogera naffe buli lwakuna otereevu ku NTV akawungeezi.
You know what they say about girls? Who cries more? Girls. Who does the chores? Girls. Who's the shopaholic? Girls. Who's all about selfies? Girls. Who brings the drama? girls. But we want to show you our real world, where we're more than just girls. Introducing Spark TV, the first female channel in Uganda, made for you to bring out the best in you. Spark TV, it's your time.
Isa yalagula Yesu ngali je mabega. Akali mu bufunzi.
Yesu ne Isa ani yasookawo munne.
Isa.
Buli lw'otayogera na muntu kutegeera bimukwata kutosobola kumutegeera yenna. Tekisoboka.
Nomboka era nako yakatugamba nti Abaganda mbwanja alaje kasukire gumba gyegenda. Kala kagamba akukano.
Obote. Wateekwa okubaawo eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa. Eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa okutuusa okunnyonnyola kwabwe, okutegeerekeka, okutangaza ebibakwatako. Conqueror of the British Empire. Naye nga Wakamu bimuyita, Wakamu amuyitanga mutya? Big Daddy. Big Daddy. Kuwuliriza, kufumiitiriza, kukola, kwogera. Bina.
Tuwaye.
Bwe yamala okutuula ngenda okutunula mu kibatu kyange kino kye ntaddeko bwenu nga muvaamu ebiwuka ng'ensolosozi.
Ebimu byewuunyisa, binakuwaza, ebirala bikyusa obulamu.
Omuntu atasomye atya n'okuyingira ofiisi naye ng'omanyi nti nina omukyala n'abaana awaka nakinkola nina ne bizinesi naye ntya n'okuyingira ofiisi eno okwennyonnyolako.
Eddoboozi lye njogerako. Tuwaye.
Where did you take her, you bastard?
You became my enemy, Pilar. You decided to play a very dangerous game, and that has consequences. And one of those consequences is that you won't be able to see your sister again.
Where did you take her,
No, Pilar, don't get rough. Don't get rough. Don't get rough.
Mrs. Eva. Mr. Renato, I'm going to identify the body. Mr. Renato, would you like to come?
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Mulondo.
"28 after 8. Thank you so much for staying with us this morning at NTV. First of all, apologies. Anne Kansime cannot make it. She will be able to be on the show tomorrow, but you can join that conversation on Mwasu Zemtia. She's going to be on with Farida Nakazwe today. All right, so make sure you tune in at 9 o'clock with Farida. But also in the run-up to Easter, that is on Sunday, and Easter is about the resurrection of Jesus. We have a series of issues to talk about, of course, led by Father Joseph Luzindana. And in the weeks to come, in the days to come, we're going to be talking about some of these issues. And we talk about even when our Muslim brothers are fasting, we do call the religious leaders there to tell us more about the month of Ramadan. So this time we're going to look at how some people have been fasting, what does it mean to fast, but also what does this day, Easter, you know, some people go to church on Easter, what does it mean in Christianity? But first, let's take a look at one of the major events that happens in the Catholic Church, and that is the Way of the Cross. Last year it was hosted by Our Lady of Africa, Mbuya Church.
Anungamya era panirira ewe mpita mu kiwonvu ky'okufa sirina kyetya ndi mu malirivo. wamanyi ekwe angabirira
Because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Shoulder my yoke and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. Yes, my yoke is easy and my burden light. Jesus willingly opens his arms and receives the trust. He knows that through this trust, he will save us. How often do I complain when a little trust comes to me, such as an unpleasant task, sickness, failure, or misunderstanding? Let me bear these crosses with my Savior for my own salvation and for the salvation of others. Whip him! Yes! That is
Are you tired, soldiers?
Is this your king? He cannot. Yesu we
yalengera ekifo kyekalubaabiro kyagenda okufiiramu nakikkanga omusabirwe nayiwa bwereere olw'amangi abaliraana okulokoka ekirowoozo ekyo ne kimunakuwaliza ddala era ne kimumalamu amaanyi ne kimumegga wansi
ekitundu eky'ekkumi yeezuuba mwambulamu ebyambalo byebwamuswaza otukuze obutukuvu twagabana ku lunaku lw'abatisimu tuwe n'okunywereramu
Before the threads of time began, was preordained a mighty plan that I should walk with him alone, the cords of trust unbroken. But fate foresaw my wandering eye, that none could yet restrain. To violate the friendship I would cause him so much pain. And every time I close my eyes, I see the nails, I hear the cries. He did not keep himself away. He was no stranger to my pain. He walked a mile in my shoes. He walked a dusty, cracked with heat, but carried on by love's heartbeat. A man of sorrows filled with grief, forgiveness was his anthem. No feeble blow from tongue or pen could ever sway my love for him. Across the echoed hills he trod and reached into my world. And every time I close my eyes, I see the nails, I hear the cries. He did not keep himself away. Was no stranger to my pain. He walked a mile in my shoes.
Will you not put that side? He's not our king. Better you put the one who calls himself King of the Jews.
What is written is written.
Okay, let us see him die.
Did not keep himself away. He was no stranger stranger to my pain. He walked a mile in my shoes. Hear the cries. He did not keep himself away. He was no stranger to my pain. He walked a mile in my shoes.
Will you not put that side? He's not our king. Better you put the one who calls himself King of the Jews.
What is written is written.
Okay, let us see him die.
Did not keep himself away. He was no stranger to my pain. He walked a mile in my shoes. He walked a mile.
And many women were there, watching from a distance. And some women had followed Jesus from Galilee and looked after him. Among them were Mary of Magdala, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's sons. When it was evening, there came a rich man of Arimathea called Joseph.
Anungamya era panirira.
A Marcus Rashford goal decided the Manchester derby. Darren joins me to discuss this and much more. Welcome to Morning at NTV Sport. I'm Derek Ntege, brought to you by Star Times. Morning, Darren.
Morning, Derek.
Darren, we'll begin with the CAF Confederations Cup, where Villa were in action in Zanzibar. 5-0 on aggregate, they progress, and now they face North African opposition from Morocco. Do they stand a chance, really?
Maybe we'd first celebrate their victory because now they've won 4 games in a row. After 2 rounds, the preliminary round, the first round of the CAF Confederations Cup, where they did eliminate that Zanzibari side, that is JKU. On Friday, the game coming a little early, unlike all the other previous games across the continent. But Villa managing to win that one 1-0, scored by Ambrose Kiria. And that meant they advanced 5-0 on aggregate, which looked quite easy on paper. And it was a little expected, especially that
JK had only played twice at this stage, I think since the 1960s. So their appearances have been far and few between. And I think that's what gave Villa the advantage, going on to win 5-0 on aggregate. If you look at the result itself, it does show you what Villa has done over time, because even when we felt for them that traveling for about 24 hours from Kampala to Zanzibar was going to affect them, that didn't turn out to happen, largely because I think of the experience, of the commitment of the players and all these other things. Because while Villa was eliminating Al Watani at the preliminary stage, JK just advanced to the first round without playing a single minute, because their opponents, who are Gaborone United from Botswana, opted out of the tournament. And with Villa coming on in such a manner, having eliminated the Sudanese side, I thought it was going to be a little easier for a Zanzibari side, for the coach that is now Ibrahim Kiria. Now 4 wins in a row, winning home and away. I think that run is going to be checked severely by FUS Rabat, the side from Morocco that did advance, and it's the one that Villa faces next in the second round, as Villa nears to that money, which is a minimum of about 500 million shillings if they could advance to the next round. So that's something for Villa to play for. After 11 years off the continent, they've now returned and they've now won 4 games in a row. Never mind the opposition, they've won and they've gone there, even when people didn't expect them to make it past the first side. That it's the one from Sudan.
And how much more do they have to do to get to the group stages?
Well, of course, you need to eliminate the Moroccan side first, and then you need to start counting your chances, because the team that almost neared the group stages, I think, should have been KCC in 2009, when they eliminated Ferroviário de Maputo from Mozambique. They eliminated SuperSport United from South Africa, and that actually triggered the move for Brian Omondi to leave KCC and head to South Africa to play for SuperSport. And after eliminating SuperSport United, that's when they fell short at the feet of El Merrick, the Sudanese side, eventually going down the drain to the CAF Confederations Cup, and that's how they got eliminated at that stage, I think, by Elsa United, that did eject them at that stage. Eventually, they missed out on getting to the group stage. So it's about a phase of three different ties. Eventually, make it to the group stage, but it's quite difficult, because probably over the last 1 decade or so, it's been dominated by West African sides, North African sides, and the ones from South Africa, who are often Orlando Pirates or Kaizer Chiefs. It's been, and maybe Mamelodi Sundowns also, who have tried to knock on that door of getting into the last 8, and then you play those 2 different group stages and make it to the semi-finals and possibly the finals.
All right, and we had some local Premier League action over the weekend, a low scoring one, I must say, and I think the most notable result was URA failing to close that gap on KCC at the top of the table. Where does this leave them?
Of course, it will leave them pondering. They failed the express test, having drawn against Rueza 1-0 6 days ago in Wankurukuku. The result, I thought they would go on to answer all the questions that they did fail to answer against Rueza. But against Express, the visitors, they couldn't still manage to win in Lugazi. That's how URA lost 3 points, and Express got them, because if you remember, last week on Friday we were talking of how Express had managed to make it to Jinja and they didn't win. They took the same route on Friday, but they stopped in Lugazi and they managed to take the 3 points, because even when Robert Sentongo scored the opener for them, taking his tally to 13 goals this season for URA, Express came from down. Vincent Kaizi had missed so many chances, eventually setting up Ibrahim Kaiwa off a free kick for the equalizer, and later on getting the winner, Kaiwa himself, setting up Yafes Mubiru, who eventually got the winner for the team that is Express there, to go on and win 2-1. And of course, there is no other team that can keep smiling apart from KCCA. The more these teams drop points, the farther they can go, the farther they keep smiling, because whoever nears KCCA and is not winning, we've seen Vipers lose at Lueza, we've seen URA drop points here, we've seen Express do the same thing in the first round. it's only advantage KCCA, and that's the thing I talked about, where KCCA went and won their first games in the second round and created that gap before they lost to Bull.
Yeah, and of course they nearly suffered a shock in the Uganda Cup against, I think it was Ndeje. But to move on to rugby now, where Cobs continue the impressive form, and what a result it was between Heathens and Pirates.
Of course, the precursor before Cobs did beat Warriors 43 there in at Legends on Saturday. But that first game between Pirates and Heathens that we had talked about, where Pirates need to try and close the gap between them and Heathens because they had lost 2 games in a row, and you'd think they were going to go on and survive a third successive defeat, but they didn't. They still didn't turn up. And of course, the biggest challenge for them has been the injuries that the coach has talked about, Anthony Chinene. But their Pirates going on to lose 31-9 to Heathens, and that meant the Heathens now, the gap still grows between them and second place for Pirates, because tries from Asumani Mugerwa, Alex Mobiru, Michael Okorach and Philip Okorach, and Heathens the bonus point, although notwithstanding the 3 penalties from Conrad Wanyama for Pirates on the other side, for them to go on and try and put up a fight, which I thought didn't last the entire 80 minutes, and that's how Heathens managed to take all the points, to take the bonus point there on Saturday. And what does that mean? The gap still remains 5 points between them and the Cobs, while now Pirates dropped to 4th place because Rhino did beat Impis, I think 56-22, to move to 3rd place now, because Rhino now on 39 points. Pirates have dropped to 37 because they've lost 3 in a row. 3-0 loss to Rhinos, 15-10 loss to Warriors, and now this loss to Heathens.
You've talked about that 5-point advantage Cobs have. They are still the only unbeaten side in the league. Do you ever see them dropping points or maybe losing a game this season?
I think, like it's always been in the past seasons, it will be very difficult for the Cobs to go on and win at Chadondo when they visit Heathens. And I think that's where we'll begin to talk the title race mathematics. If Heathens can, because Heathens needs to meet Cobs when the margin is still of 5 points. That's the same work Cobs have to do. They need to pick up the bonus points in all the games they do have, including those ones against Pirates, Mongers, Rhino, before they meet the Heathens, because I think that could actually be set up as the last game of the season or second last game of the season to eventually see who goes on to take the league. And if Cobs mess up before they meet Heathens, I think the league could be decided by a single point, because I think Heathens have this dire hunger in them to go on and find revenge when they meet the Cobs. If you remember, they did lose 28-27 when they crossed to the Legends. Now, they'll still cross Ginger Road and host them there at Chadondo, where I do think they will fight to revenge and see that the title remains.
That was a game that had quite some bit of controversy, but then the captain's prize, the HEMA captain's prize, did you see any kind of names that surprised you, or is it the kind of scorecards you expected?
Such open tournaments do present unfamiliar names, and on Saturday when the farewell ceremony for Henry Rugamba, who's been the captain of the Uganda Golf Club, after serving his 2 years, he still had to pave way for Professor Anthony Kerali, his lifetime friend. And of course, there is a tournament that is set up to you know, big like farewell. A send-off, yeah. And such tournaments are that open that players from anywhere can come and win as long as you're a member at Uganda Golf Club. And certainly that's how the player that is Yunus Bale managed to win, a food scientist with Pepsi Uganda, returning a score of 67 net overall, playing off handicap 23 to manage and win. And I think that's how he managed to take the tournament. Of course, his third win this year. I think he's won a few honors before, but interestingly, by the time I got to meet him after the event, he was someone I'd seen before somewhere back in my lifetime. So to me, he was not new, probably to the fraternity and Uganda Golf Club. It was quite thrilling to see a new winner on a new evening after a week that was packed with so many events, including that pros category where Fred Wanzala managed to win, something we didn't manage to talk about last week on Friday, but Fred Wanzala taking the biggest chunk of the shillings 10 millions pass that was there for the pros, and also those other winners over there. That's how it managed to pan out.
You have talked about it being anybody's day. Do you think Peter Mujuni would have won had he participated?
You know, I've said it before here. Thunder can't strike twice in the same place. He was very lucky to win last year's Barclays Corporate Challenge, though I didn't see him turn up this year.
And then Kennedy Katenda and Ronald Serugo should be pinching themselves. They've achieved the ultimate dream of any athlete, and that's to represent their country at the Olympics. What do you think this could mean to them?
Of course, it feels sweet. It feels sweet. If there is any story you'd love to hear from an athlete, is them going on to represent Uganda, don that bib with the name Uganda at the Olympic Games. Not many athletes have represented Uganda at the Olympic Games. And then, not many athletes across the world managed to make it to the Olympics more than once. And that's the story for Ronald Serugo, the one you'd begin with in the flyweight category, because him and Kennedy Katende, both based in Sweden, managed to lose their semi-finals in their different weight categories. That's the flyweight and the light heavyweight. But on Saturday, they managed to win the third place playoffs to earn the tickets to the Olympics, because Kennedy Katende had lost to the Algerian, who is actually the African #1, Abdel Hafid Ben Chabla. Eventually, he had to go on and beat South African Aluvuyo Suvani to manage and make it to take the third place and qualify for the Rio Olympics. And that means he becomes the first Ugandan to represent two different countries at the Olympics, because in 2008, he did represent Sweden. Now in 2016, he's representing Uganda. That's because before 2008, his family managed to move there, and that's how he managed to represent Sweden. Now he's going to represent Uganda. And of course, his outcry has been one. I hope the government can stand out for me. I get prepared very well before the Rio Olympics and probably make it that far. And also Ronald Serugo, who represented Uganda at the Olympics in 2008. He's returning there 8 years later. He was in Beijing, now he's crossing so many continents. He will be in Rio, in South America in August. 2 boxers, what does that mean? Uganda didn't have any boxer at the 2012 London Olympic Games. Now we have 2 that are there. If you look at our medal list, 7 of the medals, 4 of them have come from the ring. I think John the Beast Mugabe, Leo Ruabogo and Eridadi Mukwanga. Leo Ruabogo having 2 medals from 2 different championships. So that's a route that Serugo and Kennedy Katende would love to take there. But I hope they can do so. It's been quite a while for Uganda to have boxers do qualify. We hopefully think the numbers can surge as the days go by.
And of course, the T20 World Cup is still going on, and South Africa suffered a shock loss to England, but they managed to bounce back against Afghanistan. If you can wrap up all this action at one go.
Quite ruthless yesterday as they were eliminating Afghanistan. I thought after they got that wicket of Mohammad Shahzad, when he did get about 44 runs, I thought that's where they tightened the grip and managed to advance. But that game there on TV against England, even when Quinton de Kock performed that well, of course the outstanding performance coming from that man there, Hashim Amla, who did score 58 runs, England somehow managed to chase the game and eventually won by 2 wickets. And that's where the statement came out that South Africa remain the biggest chokers in world cricket. We've seen them put teams onto the wall as strong teams that eventually they let loose of the pressure valve, and that's how teams have managed to turn up. But they managed to reply yesterday, beating Afghanistan by 37 runs. A decent display from Francois du Plessis and Abraham de Villiers, A.B. de Villiers, who did score 64 runs there yesterday as they managed to go on and win, as well as decent bowling from Chris Morris. But also there were other 2 big games that we did talk about here on Friday. One between New Zealand and Australia, New Zealand winning that one by 8 runs, and then the other between Pakistan and India, which is like more like a derby, as the battle lines are already drawn. And that's how India managed to chase about 118 runs for the loss of 4 wickets. They managed to win by 6 wickets. Of course, I've kept on saying here, if either Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma or Shikhar Dhawan turn up, India will find it easy at this World Cup. Eventually, Virat Kohli turning up, scoring 55 runs of 29 balls for India to go on and win. Their first victory, they got off the mark that well. I think later on today, Australia should be playing Bangladesh. In the other games, yesterday, West Indies did beat Sri Lanka.
It was all about Team Mercedes. Is it a surprise to you in Australia, Rosberg and Hamilton, Rosberg winning it by about 8 seconds despite having some technical issues with his car?
I may not be surprised by Mercedes, but I'll probably be delighted with how much Red Bull did challenge over the 57 laps yesterday at the Albert Park, because before the safety car came out after lap 17, it looked like Sebastian Vettel was going to give these two Mercedes cars a run for their money, because at the time Lewis Hamilton did take the pole position after qualifying, he thought he would go on to start literally very well, but eventually after the safety car came out, because of that incident there, the black car there for McLaren, that ended up to look like a pile of metal for the driver, that is Fernando Alonso. Yesterday I thought that was the biggest story there after lap 17, where his car did collide with the one for Esteban Gutierrez, the one of Haas, and certainly he did walk out scot-free, was not injured or anything. I've seen a huge post is written on Instagram talking of how he managed to survive that incident there. But of course that took, some light away from the main event. Eventually when the safety car came, Mercedes had to change the tires. They left the softer tires and went to some more thicker rubber, and that's how they managed to go on, because the team that is Ferrari, they were stuck into that state where they had to either keep with the soft tires or get to the pit. Eventually the time wasn't that big. Eventually Rosberg going on to win, beating up Sebastian Vettel. I also Hamilton coming second to shape up there the title race, and Hamilton will be delighted. Last year in Australia, he didn't complete the race. This time round, he finishes second. He's only 7 points behind, though Rosberg has now won 4 races in a row since last year.
2 horse races in the Premiership, Leicester and Tottenham both winning. Leicester appear to have their backs against the wall, but then somehow again it was that left foot of Riyad Mahrez. Liverpool blowing a 2-goal advantage away. Mitrovic rescued a point for Benitez, and 18-year-old Rashford winning it for United. Manchester is red. I think you got that prediction wrong for once. And then Arsenal coming out as 2-0 winners against Everton.
Where do we start? Let's start with the easier ones. We'll save Liverpool for another day. There was a derby between Newcastle and Sunderland that ended 1-0. Alexander Mitrovic getting a late equalizer there. Rafa Benitez, I think, will have now some bit of breath for him this Monday morning. While Arsenal winning their first game, I don't know in how many games, when they did beat Everton 2-0 away from home. Danny Welbeck and Alexi Iwobi, his first Premier League start scoring for Arsenal there at the Goodison Park. But all that chunk away maybe took the Manchester derby a bit. Marcus Rashford getting the winner. If Martin Demichelis keeps playing like that, I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic will keep celebrating until the two meet, because that run that he did have eventually scoring the winner for Manchester United. Although now City should worry for the injuries that they do have, because still Joe Hart couldn't complete that game. Raheem Sterling facing similar challenges there in the same game, although that one-man team that is Sergio Aguero couldn't break through on the other end, hitting the post at a point, and also there the player that is David Silva forcing David De Gea into a save at some stage. But the Manchester derby aside, we'll talk the wheat now, because we've put the chaff away. I think Leicester City keep moving a step by step closer to the Premier League title.
7 to go.
7 games to go. They've got another identical result, 1-0 away from home, beating Crystal Palace. Riyad Mahrez, like he did say. And I think the gift that keeps giving for Leicester City is they are sharing the different roles. Last week on Monday against Newcastle, it was Shinji Okazaki. This weekend it was Riyad Mahrez. He did the same against Watford. Now you could see a Jamie Vardy goal sometime to come, and that could be also important or vital. Robert Huth. That's how the story has been. Although of course you can't forget that Spurs are playing some decent football, beating Bournemouth 3-0. Harry Kane involved as usual.
Okay, Aston Villa can begin to plan for life in the Championship, and Swansea can plan for life in the top flight for another season. That after a 1-0 win over the Villains over the weekend. The conversation can continue on Twitter. That's at Derek_Ntega and Alan Darren. Farida Nakazo is up next with Mwasuze Mutia. Have a good morning.
This update was brought to you by Star Times.
Book your space at the biggest comedy show of the year. I Am Kansime. Kampala's ribs shall crack as Anne Kansime brings the house down at Imperial Royal Hotel on Thursday, the 24th of March. Tickets are already on sale at 100,000 shillings, 3 million shillings for gold tables, and 5 million for platinum tables.
I am Kansime.
Yeah, you got it.
I Am Kansime is proudly sponsored by Spark TV, C-Rock, SMS1, and 97 FM Radio City.
You don't have to look any further. Get online and you'll get any property.
It's all about joinery. How best do you give a tree a very good second life?
Because there's already development happening around.
Say, for example, carpets, thick, luxurious carpet, and you say, I've got to have a carpet wall-to-wall in my house, but we're a hot country.
Welcome to the property show, where we make real estate sense.
Look at all the juices that are in there, and that is what I'm looking for. My goodness, look at that.
Wanna make some cash? Just dial *185#. Pay your bills, load data, or buy airtime. You could also send some cash. Come on, use Airtel money. You could win a lot of cash.
All you gotta do is dial *185#. Then you get to
Yola, Yola, Yola. Yola. Dial *185# and Yola. Yola Maja with Airtel money. Dial *185# and transact.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Is brought to you by
Radiant. Feel yourself.
Ooh, hey.
Tubaniriza nnyo program Mwase Mutya ku lunaku luno week eya Mwase Mutya ennaku z'omwezi lya 20 mulomo nze Farida Nakazo ababuuzaako tubasaasidde nnyo bannaffe abafiiriddwa mu wiiki eri ewedde abafumba labi babadde bangi ku social media abasinga nga bali mu myaka mito nnyo kyeraliikiriza kimalamu amaanyi naye ate tulina okugenda maaso bwe tutyo gye twava ate gye tulina okudda Mwase Mutya tubalamusiza nnyo olwaleero wadde twafiiriddwa era tulina enyiika ennyingi ate tulina okusanyukamu. Who better make us happy than herself, the Mchiga and Kansime. Mwase Mutya yagenda tunyumiza olwaleero biki ebimukwatako wajja avudde alagawa kiki ekimufuula kikyali tovaako NTV. Okay, gambye tuli ku program Mwase Mutya tuline Anne Kansime kasooke yatubuzeeko. Nina erinnya lye ddala lye nalabye babaliyita. Kubirya? Kubirya
ya tata wange.
Tusanyusa okulaba.
Njagala manye nti ndi ku pressure nange ngezaako okwewoomya. Because woletera Kansime n'omuteeka mu studio yemu ne Farido boolesa ebizibu. Nenja gezaako leero nja kuwooma nga bwe kisoboka.
Oli bulungi?
Ndi bulungi nnyo neera Mwasuze Mutya bannange. Balamusizaako mwena gye muli. Kansubye muli bulungi abafiiriddwa tubasaasidde. abatafiiridwa bannange muzuukuke akyali mu buliro oswadde zuuku ogenda okole
oyo ye yaswadde dda atekeko ka TV katulabe nga bwagenda ku mulimu. Okay, Anne Kansima abasinga tumumanyidde emyaka kati tugenda tuli mu 5 mukaaga
emyaka nga 10
emyaka giweze nga tulaba Anne Kansima. She's been all over, atambudde ensi zonna bamuze tulotako obuloso okutambulamu. She's been everywhere ku TV mumulaba, ku internet, she's everywhere. Twagala okumanya Anne ono kiki ekimufuddeyo. Tukimanyi fena nti kitone kyekimufuddeyo ne katulabe ebimu ku byakola, then ajje munyini atunyumize ebimukwatako.
Get up, get up, get up, get up. What are you happy about?
Yes, madam.
What are you happy about? What are you smiling about in your sleep? What is that you're happy about? Is it your birthday? It's not your birthday. Why are you smiling in your sleep?
Madam,
what are you what? You see, even every time you stammer, every time you start stuttering, that means you are lying. Mama. What are you? Who are you doing in sweets? Are you a hawker that you sell sweets on the street? You say, sweet. And you are smiling. Who is she? Who is that woman who can even risk? But this is utter and absolute disrespect. This is disrespect of the highest order. So you can even cheat on me. It has now become normal. You can cheat on me when you're sleeping right next to me. You will cheat on me. You actually go to the bar, you cheat on me. You go watch football, you cheat on me. You go to the gym, you cheat on me. Even in the bed where I am and we are sleeping together, you're still cheating on me. Who is she? Okay, don't tell me you are dreaming about me. You cannot dream about someone who is sleeping right next to you. Okay, assuming you are dreaming about me, tell me, what were you dreaming about me? What? And say it while smiling the way you were saying it. You know what? Go back to sleep. Tell that woman in that sleep that I am here. And I am here to say that when you woke up, you saw me here and I'm here to stay. You're married to me, my dear. You are not going to get out of this easily. I am here and I'm here to stay. So you sleep, hurry up, sleep. As a matter of fact, let me get there and also meet her. So sleep, so that we meet and I'm going to see her. But what?
But now I have no sleep because you have quarreled more than enough.
So I've woken you up. Find out a way of sleeping. I dare you that if I sleep and I get to that dream before you, we shall see whether you wake up when you have all your apparatus with you. If I were you, I would be sleeping right now. I will meet you. I can't wait to see her. How does she look like? You sleep. Sleep, see you. Sleep.
And are you crazy? Oli muyombi what?
Ate in real life munange siri muyombi. Of course bwenesanga mu ka situation nga netaga okujayo Kansima oli ndi okempitemu eyo situation mujayo naye in real nga normal day. Siri muyombi bwentyo. Mpozo becho kibuuza ababeera nange. Nze kwanga ni muyombi nga simanyi.
Kubanga toyiza kubanga obuntu obo perfecting in every skit ng'oli muyombi bulungi nnyo.
Nakula ne mama yali taluzinga nga ko fight mu life ye. As in I'd never seen my mother mbo giving the up nti lero bansinze lero guno gunsinze.
Kogwe nawe kamberenga mama. Kino kye kimuyisiza mu nsi.
Nena nange nempitawo.
Ogambye okajjayo nga weesanze mu mbeera. So ekusomoza mbera nga
ngwesanga mu mbera ensomoza like I find myself nga mu hospital line mpulira ndi bubi nnyonnyo ngamanyi mbasina kyenkozeeko line eno ngisulamu nzijayo mu busasaso obwo
n'ogamba ni ona managing
ngamba banange tuli kuki faba kwamba sibula kyenjogera tekibula ate kati now the fact that bobeera nabo baba bamanyi bagamba ono mulalo banna muleke
kubanga bakimanyi nti ono kati bwetumuteka mu line
ate obulwadde obwange buba bwanjawulo biba byebimu bwe muba balwadde ne mwesanga mu hospital mwena muli balwadde mwina okuyiiya
kogwe nti muyite ebiseera ebisinga bakuyisaawo ne mu bank
ndekanze tebampisaawo mu bank
okola line naye kasola banga kikuyitiriddeko nga bwekyanga
nga nekazakazaamuko katono.
Okay. Philip yabulirawa.
Philip jali actually akola bu clips by comedy made in Africa. Jali achakola clips twafuuka lwe natandika otambula nnyo ate naye kati nafuuka ne batandika omukasitinga mu bintu nafuuka busy ate so nga sisobola musiba ku product yemu kati nagenda nakola ebintu ebyo ene Grace naye yagenda asoma yali agala soka afune ebipapula ebirungi which is really good the fact that she would still want to study nga alaba inayo kirala kyakola
naye wamuzuula woyo Philip kuba twali tetumumanyi
Philip twali tukola fembi ku mini bars ku office awo ngali administrator ku office nera kasikita kasooka kali kanaka obasimanyi bakalaba
ngogamba omusajja
kwani you have to kwanami akwako ke kasooka abatwali sijjukire banali nina okukastinga ninga amanyi ninza oba omwana wa Fan Factory agenda okunjoininga biki nalwawo nga twetaaga okuteeka kasikiti yako mu show nengamba nembuza Philip osobola ozanya nagamba nze sipizanyangako naye bwongamba ekyokukola nja kikola nengamba yimirira ku motoka onkwane nagamba yinze nga sijabbi because bwatyo bwali Philip in real life
tumulabaawo
muntu baddembe nnyo as in of course abantu ngabo banyiga bubi nnyo tosobola ate muyisamu nnyo amaaso yayogeza actions bobo munyiziza
naye ate ayina engeri gye yajjayo skits ezo
nkugambye chovola bae me I look at Philip and I'm seeing someone who was in the right time kubera mu kifo ekituufu at the right time
nenga bye yagenda mbimukolera kati omuwuliza
mukolera akyabikola kyakola clips ne ku mini bars kati jali akyakola clips ate akyazanyazanya mukola akolako n'obulango koleka kalango ka UTL koleka kalango ka UTL together
UTL
akolaka kalango
ne kavaayera
okay
kakati buno buskits obujjanga wabonna cause obera naoba buli lunako oberayo ne kaskits bobyeyiza
nedaba in the beginning nali nino byeyiza nga nkyali mini buzz naye nga njiyanga buskits nga bubiri ina
ate ng'osinzira ku topic y'olunaku
nga nsinzira ku topic naye ate bwe navayo ate nga neetaaga okukola show enene nga neetaaga okuyiyako bineneko nenjiya for like kumpi half ya season naye ng'omutwe mpulira gukaze nga ndaba naatera okutandika okuddamu jokes then I got a creative team nina team y'abantu batano naye ate nabo stand up comedians it's headed by Kotilda Inapo ye boss wabwe Kotilda Inapo naye comedian but she's the one who heads yakulira team etuula ne wandika ne yiya ne gamba kano ani bwakakola jasiru wala bulungi kano bwakakola kuliko mukebete naye comedian Bushko Makech naye comedian Seba Chije naye comedian Smart ayocha kati abo bachirimwe ekintu
ayocha siyo nana
baba
kanyumira
anyumira nnyo ate kinsanyusa tabeera ku stage buli kaseera abeerako
naye lwazi ate taseka
etali nga ffe ababwatuka ne tusekerera ebintu byaffe nga tuli ku stage
taseka kyemwagalako okay naye nga ne mukulako wali bwoti
waffe ffenna ndowooza tuli bwe tutyo atawaho omuntu yenna amanye ewaffe nera bw'olaba maama wange agenda kujja ku 24 Thursday abasinga tebagenda nalaba sho bajja kyusa nga kamera ziri ku maama just reactions ze engeri gya reactinga engeri gya oba olaba kansiime wa skits
agenda kubeerako ku stage naye
stage tagenda ajja kukola agenda kujja
kutuula comedy amukolera wano mu
ntebe atuule mu performing awo
bwe yali akuuza teyasanga obuzibu obola kuba naye yeesanga nga bw'ateeka
si mwangu mama nga teyali mwangu bannange
teyasanga gwe mwangu mama kati okuzeekuzeemu tebeeza kati we controllinga naye edda ng'okyali kaana kato ate olina kyofaayo
Farida nze nga nkula nga manyi olunaku terugwawo nga tebakukubye oluba lunaku kyoba okozeemu azin mpozi ng'otudde mu kifo kyekimu actually the only day namala nga tebankubyeko kibooko nga ndi mulwadde neera n'okulwala ndowooza nga bankuba kunywa eddagala buli lunaku nga bwoba ogenda mu buliri ogenda kwebaka ngamba bannange baki kyekituuseeko leero
n'okolayo
notakakola ngokyali awo mu buliri mami neera najja nakubusa nga tonnaabye ogenze mu buliri nga tonnaabye oba onaabye sayidi eno yali ajja n'ateekako wano n'akola wano n'ajjako at least tabula wakukubira nga bakukuba ne weebaka kati naliyako n'amagezi oluusi nga nziruka ewaka nga bw'aba agenda okunkuba n'enziruka nagamba ojja kukomawo
olwodduka olagawa
nziruka noonya gyendaga
waliwo waddukako n'otakomawo
nadduka kati nagamba ku ssomero nagamba kwa ya masita ankubenga buli lwemba nva ku ssomero oba nina kyenkoze oba sina kyenkoze bali bankuba kiboko omukaaga teacher wafawe mta nickname yali bambe mta Nathan but his nickname was Mitoka nga choir master nga nkuba kiboko 5 bamaze rehearsals ziwedde bagamba kale you guys tomorrow rehearsals zija kubaza sawa 2 mwanguwe mugende ani jangu wansi nga nchimanyi nga nzija right down ne bankuba kamu 2 3 4 5 bamala kumpi tamu ate somero ngali kukuba kwa sembulo bakuba mu rehearsal nga kubirawo nogende mama nga yerabira nti agamba teacher nkube ne bankuba kumpi tamu kugwa
What ya mugamba kube
because every time to discipline every time she had to discipline me nga nziruka ewaka nga nzirukawo nagamba kale nze nja kunoonya bagenda okufuna kasita kusomero gendayo bemala kwatirayo bakukubireyo ojene ewaka nga obonerezebwa already then nensalawo I remember now I spent like a whole week nga nzukuka nenebaka wansi wa the bed like I would wake up nyambale uniform ambe bye mommy bye daddy nkomeo ngende wansi wobuliri wali kwa kalesu bulungi nga sisomera mu evening nga ngopa bu notes ne bategera nti sikyagenda kusomera we bambuza ne ngamba nze bankuba buli kaseera oba nina kyenkoze basina kyenkoze bami nagamba nange nerabira nagenda nange kusomera nagamba kale kati
tomulekera awayize wamala banga kimwansi wekitanda.
It was like 10 days because I finished a whole week and I had started the next week. No zaneba wandika leta ni wajua brother wange najua abazani wagamba omwana yabachinga tachajja kusomera nebo nga bamanyi ngenda kusomera
ba brother bonga tebakula bantu ogenda ne bakulopa
tebogera cha bali mu kirasi eri different fena tuvawe wakanga bagenzi fena tugenda kusomera yali amanyi eka yali made because yali andetere mmere once nenga bulalu just
wati wagenda nga munsiko ne wekweke
dano wetwali tewali wensiko twali kabale in the city center so twali just a little bit like 3 minutes away from school ngate kuli kasikoko nako sobola oberamu ate yo bakusangayo kabale twakula fenga buli muzadde inasobola
gamba nebisolo kusangayo ebisota noga akangendeka
mbuli muzadde nga sobola ku discipline nga like if anyone sees you in the bush ngoyamba the uniform ngamanya sobola okukuba ate people knew I was mad ngamanyi ngenda kubibwa kati ngenda wansi webuliri nenchiringireyo
wakolanga ddalu kikachi walinyanga emiti go wavuga
nze ndoza nafuuka nategeera nti ndi mwana muwala ndoza nga ndinga mu S ngenda mu S5 nga nvudde nga mu vaaka because
nanga wisa chirenze
the one is following let me see my brother I follow a brother and we were so close tuli mukaga and we were so close since nakula nga njagala zanya nnyo naye ngangoye engoye ezimuleka ze nyambala tracksuit eyo jeans so nalika boy nyo ngo atenga ndi campi nyo katono kati nga wotegerera nti am school girl mpuzi ngondabye nga ndi muskirt otherwise ngolowoza ndika boy kali awo S1 S2 nena nagenda bwena nyanje ngamanyi bera nyanje wali abakyala abalungi mama kyantwalayo abawala balu banange wali ogenda bwena nyanje novayo ngenviri zotaina nezivaayo nga hips zo wali tomanyi nti zisobola nga all my cousins that were in bwena nyanje were beautiful so nze nagenda nga amanyi nange nja kufuka girl S1
wali okyagala ofuke girl
S4 byali biganye kujanga buli kimu kiganye S5 SS4 vakao tutu neja netaliko kutambula bwe natambula bwe till my back really hurt nentegera kati gaze ne bemba sikoze bwe ntibajaga kati ntandiko tambula obulungi
ke wawona nabambalemerayo nabambala
balemerayo balaba basigalayo nga bali bwe bati nolaba nga bekasi but that was me
ekyo choma mitekubira
ngai climb ngai
ate okulwana
ngandwana nali nkuba brother wange omukulu ku break time babi bampita Cynthia Rusro nga mpisi lyawo nga nkuba round kick bino byonna twabikola nga nali nkola round kick nga zanya waliwo zijukira wala abana bali ba Haji Semakula nga neighbor waffe balatifa abo nga nkuba ebikonde nga bantya
nga golwana entalo z'aba sisters
nkugambye ate ba sisters brother wange oyo nga ze bounce awe nga tomuyitawo
kati ate mu school kwayo gambye kwaya master yakubanga walinga very active mwebi
very active zijukira one day ampisa ko ne mudirisa like but these stories are not to traumatize people who are seeing bino byaliko nebye bifudde kino kyendi byavaawo naye ne bigenda bampisako nali mutono nnyo amanya amadirisa g'essomero usually gabera bwe gati ne gaberako kino ekyokumakati naye za main hall zali tezina kino ekyokumakati so nga space ewera bulungi ng'omuntu baba kusitudde oyitamu that's how small I was nga bansuula ne nvaamu mu kirasi ne bagamba fuluma muko but I was a good dancer efujjo
tewagwa
nedda
kati obakusula
anti mudirisa nga mulimu abaana njukira bombera mu rehearsal mu hall muberamu abaana bali mu madirisa like maybe game time so balaba rehearsals balaba mwe bakuba abatayimbye bulungi abatakoze eki so ne bansuulako ebweru nena ne mala finally you sneak in ojoining era inotandika aibobo iroko jende and everything and you go back to the beginning
kaga terrorizing akabale
it was normal for me to be beaten like that nera singa tebankuba singa siriwo wano
kati tata we yali muntu kikaaki kuba mama mulabi yayine fujjo naye
nera nakula nga tata wange ye muntu wange nga talina nabudde bukukuba kati ngebibe mwagalira nga mpulira dada akomyewo nengenda ninsala busaladi nenkwata ka carrot nenkawandika mu linnya lye Chris kubiryaba nga kuside yawo nga mpandisi cabbage nga yekoze nga dot kwegamba nga bamba I think sometimes we don't even enjoy my food but we just eat it because nga love je nalinda nera nze nakula nga manjagala nfuna omusajja nga njagala ko at least nga taata engeri je yanjagala
wamufuna
ali mu stiff competition kati yene tata ba competinga bweba
paka nekakati omukwano go ne tata
bukyaliwo bulungi nnyo. My father was a banker. Yali mu banking for like 27 years. Then ne bakyusa UCB ne bagifuula Stanbic. Then ne bamu retrenching. Kata onalinzi je Kampala, onalinzi jawo ku Makererawo.
Wasoka kujja Kampala mu class.
Nze na fanya P4. P4 tuli mu kwaya. Twali ku role, twali tuli nyalo. Twali ku role. Not zoo. National Theatre. Inter school competitions. When atandikira okujja P4 ne komawo P5 P6 twali tujja buli mwaka then kati nengenda bwera nyanje nga nayo tukola inter
primary wali rudda we
Kabale primary school 7 years then kati nengenda bwera nyanji nera nayo nga waliyo music nenfuka ko ne kwa leader at some point nze bintu byokuyimba nga myagale nnyo nenga simanyi nti bwokula osobola okula obenga okola ebyo nze nali manyi bwe nkula njafuna office je ntuulamu
ngo wali okola bya fun
just I'm having fun
ate academics zo wali otya bino edali wali okola
actually ndoza nali mugezi nnyo kuba ko obulalu the condition was bazade bangamba bobo yagala beera mu kwaya bobo yagala kuyimba kukola ki then class oteko kubanga oli bulungi so sasoma nti nali mbyagala nasoma because I wanted to go to the choir ate wali tosobola beera mu kwaya ng'osemba mu class but you'd have a particular average where you have to be ngomanyi class itogende mu chichi so I ended up studying so much because nali njagala mpufune olukusa olugenda mu
nenga watulanga muno concentrating obera concentration levels za
nera nali munyindo ya teacher na teacher yali awo nga ndawo munyindo ye otherwise bwembanga ndi oba second row oba third row lesson ebewedde ebewedde ate wedde nnyo ate nga nsumbuwa banange nasumbuwa ba teacher nabasumbuwa nnyo
ngobebuuza ko nnyo byebasomeseza nga tubitegedde oba
ate ne bwe mba mbitegedde at least nkolamuko ku kafujjo nzijukira twalinako teacher wa mathematics nga bamuyita Isaabirye benasoma nabo bateeka okuba mujjukira yali student teacher yajja nga yiga ebyokusomesa bambi nga yigiriza math yali agala nnyo ebintu bya example nga amaze obayigiriza yama nagamba so who is going to come and solve this example of course ngalo yange ngeri mu face ye bwete like this because I was right below him nga ngenda ku blackboard nenkose voice ate y'omwana so but that's how I ended up passing mathematics ngengamba so on the blackboard there is that what there is x when you get x then you multiply it by 3 then you get and the kids are laughing but then I would end up solving the equation ne tukisekeramu and it would turn out that omuntu yali atuuka mu exam na jukira obulalu ate najjukira nosanga nga akoze bulungi mu class
Okay.
So the fujo, it was, I don't know, I don't even call it a fujo. I think when you have a stubborn child, you just have to pray, omuguiding bulungi. Bwabata good dalu na ending up butabika. Chitegeza jaku ending up in the next best thing, the best thing.
Where you are now. Walinga kuba ogambi wakula tomanyi mbu you can even make money out of this. Wakula ngo oyagala kubeera ki?
Nani njagala funa sente. Nenze chemanyi nakola nga mesi jakola mu bank. Kuba tata wange angamba bana wange temukola mu bank.
Wange ekoya.
Ekoya ojja kubala sente z'abalala ng'ezi zote azinovaayo ngo towulira bulungi obala sente z'abantu novaayo ng'owunya sente naye nga waleetiyo temuli kirimu dani ngagamba mujja kukula naye bwe mukula temukula mu bank bannange mujja kubonaabona
ko gwe musijja kubeera bank
sijja njagala funa sente nga simanyi kikyengenda okukola nga manyi ngenda kuba mu office at least I knew I had to be I wanted to wear high heels nange ngende mu office kyekyo kye nali mmanyi nga ngenda kula graduating ngende mu office banange bajja kutya
kati otuuka awo wa graduating ne notagenda
mu office social sciences naye kati wena graduating nga natandika theatre factory long ago kati eri fun factory nga natandika because natandika mu first year nensanga ba Richard Tuwanje, Gerard Rutaro, Frobisha Luanga nga bali ku Rock Point bali recording a Rock Point a radio drama ne mala ne bampita nzanyo omuzanyo balina omuzanyo ku National Theatre nga bagwita Nasty Good Story nengenda ko obwo omuzanyo
bakuzuula batya oba go wagamba
bali mu Rock Point nga tusiba tuseka kati nze nga siraba nti
ng'osekera ku radio
nga ti ku radio Rock Point yali radio drama naye would have rehearsals outside the studio
wajirimu already
nali mu radio drama nga mwebali mu Rock Point nali ku department ya MDD I was doing social sciences naye nga olunaku lwonna ndumala ku department ya MDD because awo nali nsanga abantu nga bakola ebintu byentegeera byenkuze nga ntegeera nga social sciences yantama nena nagikola nga just kanjikole nfune degree njiweereza abazadde bange mbagambe nabawuliriza n'ensoma
gye wali osabye
nali sabye MDD naye nga nina ogifuna ku government nenfuna 19 points at that point they couldn't give me government so mzee nagamba ate sisobola nsasulire bino byoba okola buli kaseera dance drama tusasule okole ekintu kyogenda okoleyo ekirimu amagezi kyoba ogenda okola
kati social sciences yali cheaper than drama
not even cheaper yagamba sigenda bemba ngenda sasula sente ezo nga zange tisija zisasula ogenda oyige musiru ddala olwa music dance and drama
tabyejjuse ebyo ebigambo kati
well kati degree jeri nera degree naye gerabye nyambye because na majoring am social sciences sociology and psychology kirungi nnyo okubeera stand up comedian ng'osobola osoma audience yo osobola okuyiiya n'abantu osobola otegeera ani akwagadde ng'oli ku stage ani gweosobola opickingako n'omukolako joke ani akwagala bo meeting omuntu you can read body language you can know I have to stay away from that person so still it has helped in a way and kiba kirungi when you travel places and nebakubuza wasoma nogamba yes nasoma wasomachi no bagamba chwasoma gamba so you went to school no soma ningamba yes I studied it's not by accident so it's a nice thing actually that nasome social sciences others I would have just said okay muganye kanchite so it's from the department nasanga ko mchala nga bamita Asimwe Deborah nankastingako mu muzanyo ogwa exam bakola bu course unit so bone dramas nankastingako that's why I met the Kathy Bagayas I ended up doing radio drama ended up at the National Theatre doing the Thursday show.
Wow. Yo Anne Kansime. Katumule mukatono nyewe tukoma omugera kufuna n'omukisa okwogerako na yesako ebyala bingi ebikwata ku Anne tukoma.
Your wedding weekend is finally here. Here's your Radiant Style tip. Just add the Radiant Hair Polisher before styling and finish your magical look with the Radiant Olive Sheen Spray. Your big day is definitely on. It's no secret. Radiant. Feel yourself.
Ooh, hey.
For more Radiant Style tips, visit us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, #RadiantStyle.
Bana Uganda banange tusisinkane nambala fena
jango wagira Uganda Cranes nga batuuka ne Burkina Faso ku Lwokubiri 29 Maachi 2016 ku ssaawa mwezi ekiro mu kisaawe gali kwoleka Namboole Buja Tulumbe ne Airtel Company eteeka ssente mu ttiimu ya Uganda Cranes.
Isa yalagula Yesu ngali je mabega akali mu bufunzi
Yesu ne Isa ani yasookawo munne
Isa
buli lwotayogera na muntu kutegeera bimukwata kutosobola kumutegeera yenna tekisoboka
era enako yakatugamba nti Abaganda mbwanjala jakasukira eggumba gyegenda kala kagamba ako kano
obote wateekwa okubaawo eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa okutuusa okunnyonnyola kwabwe okutegeerekeka okutangaza ebibakwatako naye nga wakamu bimuyita wakamu amuyitanga mutya big daddy kuwuliriza kufumiitiriza kukola kwogera bina
tuwaye bwe yamala okutuula ngenda okutunula mu kibatu kyange kino kyentaddeko bweni nga muvaamu ebiwuka ng'ensolosozi
ebimu byewuunyisa binakuwaza ebirala bikyusa obulamu.
Omuntu atasomye atya n'okuyingira ofiisi naye ng'omanyi nti onnina omukyala n'abaana awakana kinkola nina ne bizinesi naye ntya n'okuyingira ofiisi eno okwennyonnyolako.
Eddoboozi lye njogerako tuwaye.
Wanna make some cash? Just dial *185#. Pay your bills, load data, or buy airtime. You could also send some cash. Come on, use Airtel money. You could win a lot of cash.
All you gotta do is dial *185#. Then you get to
Yola, yola, yola. Yola, yola. Dial *185# and Yola. Yola Maja with Airtel money. Dial *185# and transact.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Join us in a live broadcast of the Situation Room on Wednesday, 23rd March 2016 at 3 p.m. under the theme, Outlook for Multi-Party Democracy, Where is Uganda Headed? The venue is Makerere University Main Hall and the general public is invited. The Situation Room is supported by
over the next 3 months, 200,000 Uganda women will take part in the... We started in Kamocha.
Nyaho, which detergent do you use?
For me, I use Omo.
But why Omo?
Because it cleans better, it removes stains quickly, and it's also gentle on my hands.
Yes, we have a winner. Muchawakana. So make sure you have Omo in your house. When I knock on your door, you could win lots of prizes. But if you don't have Omo, enter the washing challenge to prove which detergent gives you the best wash under 1 minute. Toakana.
Madam, what's that? What are you doing? I thought you're here to cut his hair.
Yes,
what is that?
But this is part of the package.
The shoulder is part of the head. I'm stupid. I do not see that the shoulder is... Is there a hair around this area here? Where you are touching right now? Is there a hair? Is there a hair?
No, but it's just part of the package.
Which package? Which... What? So wait, help me. Maybe I'm very ignorant. Let me allow that I'm ignorant. Help me understand how the hair and the shoulders are related.
That what nerve endings are those? What are you trying to do?
Please, darling, let her do her work.
That is why you can never allow me to follow you to the saloon. This is the fornication that goes on in saloons. After they've cut your hair, people get to know each other physically. You're now and you're doing it even when I'm here. Which means when I am not here, you tell him to remove his clothes and lie down and you massage him. That's what happens.
No.
That is not part of cutting. What?
Madam, it's just a misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding of, so I'm stupid. I do not see that you are going south. You had reached the shoulders. Who knows where else you are going? So when I'm not around, this is what happens. Madam, so you actually enjoy extra activity because your job description is to cut hair, but you're turning this into a massage session. Fine. Since you like extra activity, let me help you a little bit. I had come with my husband to the saloon just to cut hair. But after that, feel free. You like extra activity. Follow me at home. You go follow him at home. Wash his clothes. Warm for him out and take it to the bathroom. Clean his clothes. That one you see there sometimes spoils his clothes even in the sleep. Clean them. And today is Wednesday, too bad for you. It's a daycare. So I'm going to leave him here. And I'm coming to pick you up at 2 o'clock. So just to know, sit, enjoy yourself. I am not here. Pretend as if I've disappeared right now. I'm not here.
Madam.
Agamba, help me. Do you see what I'm going through? Philip is just...
Never mwamalango kuzanya ngatagamba ne andero yiseo.
No. Now the beauty is tuseka ne tumarayo as in mu rehearsal tuchisekerera ne chiva, because if you don't laugh we'll burst and laugh on set. Though you find that sometimes the cameraman will laugh in the process. Oba wa sound aseke mukole take endala bisesa naffe. Some of them biraba destajukira lines and deliveries. I think I get possessed when I'm on set.
You don't even rehearse ochimanye.
Nedda bumper script tebera munti buli line yonna but bakugamba nsikite genda tandika ogenda musale enviri bwoti omalo yombe kono then oja kamala ngomuleka mu saloon. So no yiya kuliko ezijja naturally walo lines ezijja walo, if you notice, if you've watched my clips, walo lines nga what is wrong with you, are you serious, or if you have nothing else to do you go do it somewhere else. There are some statements that are typical me, as in nesanga nzikozeseza in the skit. So ezozo it's a script but it's not very scripted. I rely so much on improvisation.
Okay. Ne oyino muzimu ogujja ne gukwambala noyo mbadde basiriya.
Olusi mbera ku set skit bwemba mazoku okukola skit ne bazi editing when I'm watching them nga tebana baziteeka ku screen. Nentwe nengamba line zezo line zezo zava wanga nange sobola nga sijukira je zava wali wengeri nyingira mu defensive mode kwaka kade tosobola kumpangula ne bujjo kuyombotya ndinga simanyi bambamizechi simanyi mbani na line zao oyogera kantu nenyongera olusi nekanga nokweka nimba tukanenseka ne bakola take 2 but it's interesting on set. It's actually I'm thinking of soon I'm going to be showing behind the scenes of Don't Mess with Kansim. I think it will even be more interesting than the real show.
Okay. Omanyi number ya skits zozanye since you started?
Okay, kati zange ziri ku YouTube kati it's like 290 something. Ne kati nina like 340 that are in the coffers ezitana bagenda ku YouTube. Then I have like the 400 something I did as a mini buzz. So all together natero okutusanga natero genda 1000 videos.
Kino kintu kya YouTube okikola otya bagamba okifunye mu sente mpitirivu. Osanga nafa abayina mu katemba omutonotono tusobola otandika okusula.
Nedda tewetaaga beera na katemba kukola sente online. You just have to be able to record. But when whatever abantu small things osobola ogenda online. Haven't you seen like videos of a child eating food in a funny way, a child riding a bicycle and falling? Osalawo no gamba nti everything you record that you think is not ordinary, is not in every other home setting or in any other person's life, you record it and put it online. You just archive eberenga album yo when a YouTube page yo nga album yo. So bwoweza bofuna abantu abali interested in your life. That's how most reality TVs start. You start by seeing that abantu bali interested in nyo mu bulamu bwo bagala kulaba wayambadde ki walidde ki. So there Uberaga nti kumacha nja kubisa yakafananyi mbakolero ka video mbagambye wano ku earring wano natadiko bwenti kusawa natadiko bwenti before you know it ka recording ka and the shorter the better, the shorter the recording the better, because then kitegezo omuntu tajja kweralikira ku bando ku watching ebintu byo. So posting online, and as long as you have subscription, Google will find a way of compensating you, because when you have subscription
bobe ba contacting
no. Of course, so applying to commercialize to turn your page into a source of income. They call it commercializing it. You have to apply to commercialize it. Then they will tell you the what they need you to do, how many subscriptions you need to have. And all you have to do is make sure take your video, take your Siringa tumanyi nti ku Sunday waliwo church, whether abasomi baze reverend abeerayo nga ali ready ku preaching. So that's how it's those are subscribers babantu abasalo ne bagamba ani kyagenda ku releasinga kyonna njagala nkimanye oba kibi oba si kibi nnyo just njagala manye biche bimukwatako. Those are subscribers. So YouTube engaging aneeraba nti oyina abantu abakugoberera, oyina abantu abagala okumanya ebikufaako, so kati buli koteekayo ne basuulamuko ka advert. So mweyo advert awo webajja, because it takes like 1,000 views for you to make like $1. So you have to have so many views. It's
1,000 views for one particular
like clip. Like 1,000 views can earn you at most $1 or $2. So awola abantu weziwerera obo ina bu video obo koze bu videos bungi. It's just patience really. I think I was lucky in a way that Minibuzz helped me create the much needed publicity nga sitadde, because nali nkozesa equipment zaabwe skits nga zaabwe bichi nera bwe navayo byonna nembirekayo.
Kati video yo eriwe yasoko okuletera
ya hitting anywe Kenya, then inokoma weno ne bagamba ono mwana wa Ferachi mutusendingira bu videos obo. So before I knew it, Kenyans badly wanted to receive like every time I would post on the page ngo receiving inboxes ezisinga zona nga ziva Kenya. Ngamba yani sijui what
ngatobitega na bitege
ngamba ya lakini sa ya poa
topoa
ya poa.
Katania kuwa magezi mbukati buno buntu busuleyo
nafunayo ko ali omwami bamuyita actually brother wa Desire Ruzinda bamuyita Ronald Ruzinda. Yes, I think he's based in Germany. Yanyamba okuchanginga page yange naji commercializing netandiko
page
ya YouTube.
Okay.
Because I think when he contacted me nani nanga 5,000 subscribers, kati ndiko almost 200,000 something subscribers. Nera silver button jenafune ya YouTube yali ya 100,000 subscribers. So kati ntuse ku 200 ninze bampeyo silver button enda.
Na ye jana sent.
Neya so kati ya jana sent. The thing is, by the time they recognize you for having 100,000 subscribers, it means they know that they are giving you a certain amount of money when they air your clips. So award yo kate jana sent, but it's a recognition amongst other pages. The other day actually got that review of my page being #1 growing, manya followed by MTN, manya followed nentia no kutia nentiamu
atene ku Facebook you're doing
nentiamu
omuntu omosinga companies.
I think it's just a question of giving people the much desired reality. Toli kintu kirala bamanyi nti ono ngati oluzungu olwo yayigolwe kaba yo yenyini tetutajja tatufere yo yenyini taina kirale kyajagenda otulaga obuviri bwe butyo tubumanyi olusi bubeera olusi tebubeera yo yenyini high heels tazambale wazambala tugamba nti zimuyisiza na bubi. So you end up bringing people closer to you ne bagala okwo ne balaba nti ekicho kyabwe because bakutegedde nnyo balaze nnyo ki
kwanga we get your sulayo and for example ku Facebook and people play it cool ne batachifaako obalwa akasize ko simanyi olo wateka out dance gwe no joke nga muzina singa yali muntu mulala for example nga Zari nga tade waliwo abandi muvumye.
Even the business I am in helps me not get abused. Anti ndimuna katemba and it's not just acting. I'm a comedian. So when nkola akantu akandibadde onakoze ekibagamba ono omulalu bannange ono omulalu, like most of the things I end up passing because I'm a comedian, so they assume bilimu eyo line eyo yokusesa abantu.
Kati walaba ku point chimbo kati this is serious business. Jendi musente ze nali nonyedda ze nali njagala okufuna zituuse
zindoza na soko kutya nnyo nga bampise ku minibus. And for me that was like the first job that could help you pay rent. Then nogenda konga kamocha na nigenda kamocha on Fridays bali engoye nga ziri very
wazadde wali wadduka yodoro
abazadde nabaleka nga ngenda ku university because they are in Kabale, they are based in Kabale. So meze we najje Kampala nenzija okuyiya tenentandikirawo from when I came yeralikirira nasiiba nasaba nankubira nangamba oliwa nga bankubira nga ndi close to my dad. Like if I was going to a club, I would call dad and say, today I am going out to dance. It's like, going out to dance with who? Like we would talk. I was so close to him that I would tell him, even when I got a boyfriend, I would tell him. Then when they started breaking my heart, I also stopped telling him because I didn't know. Ngasagala teyeralikirire nnyo so nentandika okubireka nga sikyamugamba nnyo.
Kakati your boyfriend naye yakubreaking omutima neta
omu Farida
batano
boka
oba daluli yakulemesanga ki
ndowooza daluli eryannemesa because waliwo nze ebintu typically abaami bye basuubira mu ladies ndowooza nze lady ndowooza nakayika kati ebya lady byo nera kati I'm struggling kano kemulaba ndi lady because mbanyi ndine fari nze ndi ku competition kati njagala nange balabe lady material since I'm with Farida
kati wakolanga ebintu ngoyomba nabo
kati kiki kinnemye okuyomba nga byokola sibitegeera okitegeera ndowooza we nakulira nentegeera nti waliwo by'otalina okukola nga sikyalina mutima ndowooza naye ninanga liver ne lungs zizokka nga zensigaziza ng'omutima bagumenyamenya dde naye nenjiga nenkula I had to grow
ng'okaaba
of course nga nkaaba nakaaba nnyo oba gye bali bantunuulira
twakola loosi
ndowooza njabatumira mujje ku 24th mbatumire nina message yammwe mujje
obadde kyatugamba the first big project yali minibus.
The first big project was minibus because it was really the project that could pay rent and you sleep without stressing about rent because my first I was getting let me say like 1.3 1.4
ku minibus
nga nsula mu nyumba anti after taxi nga bamaze okusasula zi taxi nebiki nga nsula mu nyumba ya 350 nemala nenfuna kaloni awo nga ne Go TV nga maze kuyimba my name is Kansime so nenfunako nengula ka vitsi ne kasasulako hafu nemba nga nyongerako nga ku buli mwezi nzija kwa 5 nange lunaku lwe namalayo vitsi eyo me felt like I owned Kampala mvuge motoka yange nze ani I will never forget. I think for me
yangamba wafuna vitsi wetolole ekibuga ntolina gyolaga
ngasina gyendaga anti nga amafuta ku minibus bakuwa amafuta nawe inako sparing akawo ate vitsi weteka mitwalo 10 sigala mu kifo ezo butavaawo ezito ezo butavaawo actually nzijukira Brian nga njerega ku show ya minibus actually yabyogera ne ku show nagamba mbo obusiru kwe kutwala vitsi ku washing bay we ina sink ewaka ngomanya sobola gistorage teke musiko gikube changu oteka ovugoge ne
mubyogera kumpeo
Brian oyo yankuza Brian yankuza ndoza yanjigiriza no utula minibus nga ntulanga bwe nagamba ani tuli ku show tulako kuli mwabacha abachiga nganjerega Brian bebe yanjerega muko kati ndoza bye biriko kati ndoza kemulabako wano
obuchiga bwo kuyambye otukosanye kigambo ekyo
ndowooza olaba aba Nigeria engeri je tuwachinga movies zaabwe nnyo ne tuliza music zaabwe. Do you know why? Because bonga abantu je bava beyagadde nnyo ne batweyagaza ekintu kyabwe. So I think me being proud of being a Muchiga gets almost everyone on my side. As in the people who are Basoga, who are Baganda, who are true to who they are. They're like, oyo mwana we banange yeyaga ekintu kyeyagaza banange Muchiga wani singana nina abantu abayagala okuba abachiga who are not in this country actually be meeting and bagamba you just want to come and see your village Mparo Kitanga and they know Mparo Kitanga yet tulina abantu mu Kampala nga bavayo Mparo Kitanga nga tebajimanyi so kintunze nnyo that I am someone who is proud of where I come from. You start choosing
a tuveranga US oli kushoba bunyumiza Mparo.
Bye nyini. Nera nagenda nalabako Queen bampita for the dinner with the Queen Elizabeth. I'm lucky they didn't tell me to get up and perform. There was an andizinye ekitagulire kizimu because I needed to be able to do something which I know none of them in that hall can do. Nga chicho omanye ekintu bw'okikola nga chicho ne wate bakitegedde nga chicho kati Farida netandika ngamba rutega shungu rwanyina shungu bakagera ngo butabe ngo twaburwanisa na burwanisa watata sarakiri you get you just like it because kati bichebe byo tochitege bakwito kwevuga like a poem nechevugo in Ruchiga so you will like it simply because okay tobitegedde bingi byenjegedde ne just kyeyagaza kikoze bambi kiri muri it's nice I wish I could do it you get
kati Queen yali yakulaba nakutegeera
ati nga ntegeera kochi Queen alinga bola bakabako ono bagamba nti kabaka asimye okulabako chances ye ayinza okwanga takumanyi na kuma batakulaba nga timu egambye kukusinzira ku bintu ebigenda mu Uganda tulaba nti ono muntu asanidde alabeko kuki ku kabaka kati ogenda nti kabaka akoze ekyakuyisa akumanyi ko kinedda timu ye ebekuyise ngeraba nti osanidde okumusemberera kitegeera. That's what happened. So the Chogam team sat down and handpicked people in Africa to have a dinner with the Queen. Nembera momu. Nera na shakinga handi ye kwenako. Ate handi saji shaking na shakinga ku glove. Abera yambadde gloves. So no kumutuka konto mukwate ko kwate ku skin yendoze echo nacho. Chirimu other protocol endale joita munga tona. So she just shook my hand and asked, where are you from? I said Uganda. No, I couldn't say Mparo. I said Uganda, and she was like, oh, beautiful country, and then moves on to another one. Twali banji. Nekata onange nsobola ogamba nti na meeting ako Queen.
Era wa mu meeting. No shaking a glove.
Nera njire postinge ka invite ako tebalowooza nti nabafera
tewafuna selfie moment
weya even confiscated our phones when we were entering tugambye twakabira ate sa wali olaba oganga besibye ate omanya abanigeria bamanyi weyiwako na champagne ati sinajanga atoba champagne just otegere nti ali expensive kitegeera nena nakavira mwawo just tewali selfie teri proof so bwe mumpakanya nange sigalira omwe sigala newozaako
ekyo nekyo anti kutute everywhere mawanga almost gonna show yo kijojjukira n'ogamba eno yo show nakakola
show ya Zimbabwe nagenda nga nina okukola show emu nentuukayo ne bangana okukola eyo show ne bagamba tosobola kukola show emu yali ku Saturday if you haven't confirmed to do another show on Sunday because
they're selling out.
They're selling out like a week before. So by the time I came, the demand was for the second show, not even the first show. The people in the first show were just chilling. So promoter nagamba kijja kuba kizibu nnyo okukiriza okugenda ku hall eyo okole show emu. Nakuliko abantu the biggest crowd nga it has. Yet the crowd, the hall we performed in was sitting 1,600 people.
Go ali perform main performer. Or you were the only, it was your show?
It was my show, but usually when I go to say, if I go, like when I went to Zimbabwe, I had curtain risers. There was Doc, there's Doc, then there's another guy, what's his name? The other comedian. Hangabeyo. Katunga baba curtain rising. Like 20-15 minutes, then zenezi jako nenkola set ya 1 hour. Umanyiti natandika nga sobola kubeera ku stage kola stand up for 15 minutes.
Dwachi?
Nga nze ndi used ku Fun Factory where you go on stage ozanye omuntu akole joke osekeba wekaze be serious itaonga akakyala bichi nga byemanyo itawo 3 minutes 2 minutes toli wow buskitsi bwange bumpi naye kintu kyokuyimirira ku stage nti nzize obasesa nali I think I didn't know how to go about it. Nga simanyi bwe nyimirira ku stage ntandika nachi because sigenda fuka dikula nti ntekemu ebintu munda nti ntekemu akabina nti tandike nzine nga bigambo byange byebintasa. Then I realized nti I'm a good storyteller because nina mikono jange jangamba nga musomero nga umanyi holidays nga muwachinga ka series oba ka radio drama nga kali very interesting nebwe mudda kusomero abaka wachinze nawe bagala okabaddiremu obagambe gwe because nga bamanyi gwe bagenda funa version endala ate baseke bafe so nga tutuka kusomero ne tunyumya zi Mr. ojikira The Price, some famous Nigerian movie. It was like the first famous one nze nali nina even time at school nga nina bana mu dormitories I didn't have grab, so you would pay in kind.
Why didn't you have
grab? I wasn't born in a very rich family. Tetwasulanjala naye ate tetwalina leftovers. Tewali leftovers nti mulya ne muleka wa olya n'omalawo nga tekuliko balance for tomorrow. Yes, nze ebintu bya leftovers ebyo nabisanga eno Kampala ng'olya n'omalawo. So mbadewa
price bazanyiramu
nenyumya story ba action move out nenkuba is round bansibye microphone wano nandikyuse nembaraga round kick nenkola was round kick yawo chi nenyumya story yonna nenjimalayo. So I realized I can tell stories, and then when I'm telling people about my life, things I think bya bulijjo ate bibasesa nyo. So nensanganga with time I just talk about my life, and I just talk about it in a very interesting way. Like bwemba nabuuka kolumu ngenda kugamba nakuba ekigo n'engweri n'entalantuka
atenga tisibwe
nenga manyina nakubako just akagere oba chichi. So I just exaggerate and put so much juice in my real life, and before you know it I have content. Now I stand on stage for an hour and a half. No, for like 20 minutes. Yes.
Hey, so kati Zimbabwe nokiriza
nenzikiriza. So nenkola show on a Saturday. So ne ba booking a show endala ku Sunday. Flight yange nonge eri ku Sunday nga nkomawo Sunday sawa nga 9. Ne bateka ko show sawa 6. Nagenda ku stage, nenva ku stage nga tudduka literally.
Byolagamba wabijama ngo agoba byenyeri jokes zo
kala. Because nabagamba I prepared for just one show and I don't repeat jokes. Nabagamba you don't get it. People who are going to come in the first show, some will come in the second show just to show that they can come, they can pay. But it was the same. What I'd organized for the first show, I just twitched it and just added a little, subtracted a little, what worked and what didn't work, and did the second show. Okay. But it was amazing. The coverage was amazing. Omanyi simanyi oba Katonda yakikola atya otambula n'otuuka awantu n'ogamba chenja n'ogamba Katonda bananga weeraze
ate ng'oshoboza
mparo as in you know, as in oluusi nyimirira ne ku stage wategerera nti it's favor oyimirira ku stage n'ogamba abantu ne base ogambye just because to be honest you're overwhelmed. Like the first time I went to Kenya, I performed in Kasarani Stadium. It's their biggest stadium.
Yajula
nejula I didn't perform. So nengenda ku stage abantu neba pushinga barricades neba semberera stage olono ntiddo mutima gunkuba. Tears were in my eyes, and I traveled with my whole
one
team.
Of your first shows.
Yes. Nze nali ngenze sesa abantu. Did they give me a chance to talk? Neba semberera stage, so it became a security. As in, they needed to. Yes, they needed to get me off stage. Nchuka nina abantu abandi emabe.
Bonga balozo oli mu jokes kumbe ugotide.
No, it's not even jokes. They didn't even the fact that I was there. Ndoza bali balozo bakansime. Oba just muntu wadda bya mind ya like mind your language wadda si muntu ate kati ne balabanga ndi katono nnyo ngolaba ne bakuba endulu people feel as if Michael Jackson on stage natya nengamba what do these people want nzenga byamba terekedde tebigenda bakola bwe but but I ended up even not performing because they needed because I think I remember the only thing I did was I did some of the kids music and danced with the children on stage
kati oge olozoli wa queen
nenzira nakola ko music ey'abaana waliwo buno bwe na yimbo obuyimba bw'abaana nakola album like 9 songs nenyimba ko bumubumu awo nenvao nengola abagamba ati sisi tumulabye nga tebali ku akoze eki ku stage nedda tumulabye nengamba kisacha I'm telling you waliwo Katonda byankoledde sisobola bigamba wano ne stumbling alaba nenze njagala alaba amanye nti ekyo kyatanalaba kyatasuubira kyatalabangako kyatasuubira okulabako kyekyo Katonda ekyo kyagenda omukolera because nze ebintuukako nalisi up to now nchimanyi waliwo byestana bokulaba Katonda byagenda okunkolera nzije bano bagambe kino nabadde sikikiriza kati sikyagaana kati omuntu bangamba ani gogenda Hollywood ngamba oli mu answer okola bwoti
okulukunya
oli mu answer as in I just say amen because ebintu byakoze nena nsaba success jumper ajimpe ku level gye mujjukira bw'alaba nti ntandise okumwerabira agikendeeze.
Oli mukyala musabi?
Nnyo nnyo.
Osaba mu ddiini ki?
Nsaba ddiini ya Katonda.
Yeriwa kubanga nyingi abasiraamu basaba mu ya Katonda.
Nsaba ddiini ya Katonda, nzikiriza mu Yesu nti yafa ku lwange, nti ntakira Yesu n'agamba Katonda n'amugamba omwana waffe ono omusonyiwe, muganda wange ono omusonyiwe, nze ndi mulokole. Azimba njagala manyi nti I believe in the one and only God, the Father of Jesus and the Holy Spirit. That is all. Ndi musabi nnyo naye kati nandisobodde ntya ngamba kiki ekirala kye nandibadde nsobola ntya. Saala zokka
akoledde ebyamagero mukimu ku byo mwe mulina obufumbo. Kubanga muntu yandooza n'agamba ani kiyani atwala ani okwekuba.
Singa nzo joke sandigenze ne ani naninozayo omuntu nga mukakamu nanonyeyo nga Farida muko nga sobola okubuza kwa abantu nga okitegeera.
Okay, ani mukyala mufumbo owaddala ate atejjusa abufumbo bwe kati kolaga ebimu ku byali ku mbaga ya Anne Tavao.
Meanwhile, I'm married. Did you know? I'm also equally surprised. You're not the only one who is surprised. I'm also here waiting patiently for my husband, Gerard, to change his mind. As in, I have a feeling he's going to wake up one day and he's like, what have I been doing risking my life to be with this girl?
Okay, Anne. Olunaku lwatuuka naye ejjusa n'agamba ye ki ekyandeete wakakazi
nze nkugambye ojo. I'm serious. Like, I know if our lives were flipped, I would not be as good a partner as he has been to me. Bino ebyokutambula kiki nze ndowooza ebbuba lyandibadde mu 250%. Ndowooza naye nze ndowooza mwagala ate mwegomba ate as in a way that manyi nti byakola byankoledde kyanfudde ate eringa good luck kyamu yange because nga sinaba amufuna mwali temumanyiiko because yajja mu budde bwe ndowooza
yekitone kitandika okututumuka
nakifiweringa nakiteekamu efuta lyonna lyali lyetaagisa ndowooza bye ebirungo byemulaba
oba yakuyambako ne ku buskit.
He's a very hilarious man. And when I say he's funny, bagamba mwagala. You know, I love him, so I find him funny. But he's a hilarious man. And most of the jokes, is this thing about our relationships? Yeah, bazimpadde. Ko yamanyi ebintu byaffe gye biva.
Nenganga mwesanga.
Twesanga batwogera empola tebatuulira. Munange twesanga nali ku pool table nga nzanya pool awo ku Fat Boys. Ndoza teya meeting ndoza ya meeting backup plan yange nali nonya short yawo nali nonya ka short ndoza na meeting kime kyemabega ndoza nagamba nanyini wecho ngenda mu meeting just ngambeko hi ngambeko hi after that, let me see
first time?
No, like first time, and he didn't know me from TV, from anywhere. So nituzanya pula omanye bibye hi, how are you? Natya nokusaba enamba. No, like he would, I don't know, nali obudde nali ku level where byali bintamye. Nga bintamye ate kati nfunyeko omulimu manyi sobola osasulako ka rent nga ndaba nga ngamba omanyi what kankiteeka nkole let me work nayingirawo mu ddiiro
kati bwe yajja tewamugamba what is it
Nena namwekalizamu. I remember he asked for my number nenseka. Naseka nagamba I knew you didn't give it to me, but I have to try. If I don't ask for it, what if you are going to give it to me? Nagamba even my phone has blacked out, so even if you had given it to me, nagamba hey, you're sure your phone is off? Nagamba jindage. Na jindaga nenda bangeri off. Nemugamba my number is 782800168. Nagamba hey webali. Teyajiwandika yankubira after 2 days.
Ne wali engolinda akasimu bate watawana.
Nina nokwerabira. Nakuba nengamba hello, nagamba hello. Nengamba who is this? Nagamba it's Gerard. Nengamba Gerard, which one?
Fat boy.
Gerard Fat Boys. Nengamba ngambera ku Fat Boys inyo which After the funny thing, young number when the discussion we had in the bowers, I asked him what do you do? He said he's a lecturer in Nseka. So there was an ebuzona sese yakola chinagamba what do you do? He said I looked familiar. You know how you see a face. Ate byebye ku TV omuntu akusanga kati nagamba nkumanyi nawe nkola. So yali alabanga ndi familiar nambuza nagamba what do you do? Nemugamba I'm a comedian. Nagamba so what is a comedian doing laughing at me? who is a lecturer? As in one you say quote here. So now when he called and said he's Gerard, nagamba the lecturer nembo atukanenzira mu Nseka. Nagamba why do you keep laughing when I tell him? Nagamba it's weird. I don't have friends who are in that profession. Netutandikira jazzing. He's a very hilarious man. He got my attention.
Kati olomufumbirigano after how many days or months of dating?
2 years. After 2 years, we did an introduction. Nera tuchalinze ndoza wedding yafe igenda kuba on the moon. I'm waiting for you to surprise me, Gerard.
Surprise eja. Kakati ani omuntu yandiloza kuba ndoza wali kawala ochali kato.
I was 25 turning 26.
Atenga kitone kitandika okuvaayo. Omuntu yandiloza who gets into marriage at this point of time?
No, actually if I had been maybe careful, like maybe 3 years before I met him, I would have ended up married probably to a wrong person, because me, I knew the cycle was go to school, finish, get a job. Whether the job, not particular, but salary job or what, get a job, and afterwards get a man. If you don't get a man, be found, position yourself, strategize yourself in a way that you are found and they marry you. That was this. And I've always loved children so much. I can't wait to have my own children.
What is keeping you?
When I'm going to get.
What is keeping you?
Ngabwe simanyi nali simanyi ngenda funa omusajja n'abaana bagenda kujja ebyakatonda tosobola omuwa program
wabateka ku pose sokokole show eno ya mkansime
supposing I just do things the way God has willed, and I know I am going to get children soon.
Kati mami wamukubire simu nomugamba mami omusajja akiriza tujja
kati omanye introduction ojo kukumpya nchakinge nokunchakinga, because nakubira dad mami nemugamba mami twine yabajenyi ate abachiga no bara paying attention twasize mutuka tukoyi ngambira mama twine yabajenyi bajenyi chi. I said a friend of mine, and she was like ngambira nyonde ngambira mazima. I said I want you to get to know him, maybe that mama kale mami ye agamba ba mothers union to mwana wanga agenda kuja kola chi to get married. Nze nayinja galantwala ojoku bamulabe ko balabe checho chenyini byebyo ndoza mami ye muri yali akoze bwati nagamba luli balumu oli threateninga kuleta wano omuntu ojja kulaba yagamba mothers union before you know it enkoko oli awadde ente oli awadde yo manya venue oli nengambo ojoko loza nange njja kuchala kwano organize yourself nera nonya yoba no but nere mbaga mami nawona nensanga ojoku naye nga njagala nnyo nga yagala ate tukimalirize kigwe, otherwise yani gambye sibi bino sibi byandese wanonze. And Ojok's father, may his soul rest in peace, he rested last year. He was a very amazing man. Njagala oyo omusajja banango mwami oyo nga mulungi nena mu misinga nnyo nga yanja ngolaba naye olaba nga bontunulira bodi nengolaba abantu linagamba mutabani wanga namala ko banange kuli neddalu ngolaba nga magamba
ati ngaye mama wo yagamba bane banyambe batwale
nera chema my mother-in-law is always on the knees praying for me saying ono mukyalo ono katusabe just katusabako mewo talaruka but I have the best in-laws best in-laws
abali kusimu no bayitiri babagala okuboza
bakube tuogere
hello mbuza ku Ann hello yes hello okay avuteko omulala hello
hello hi
you look so nice.
Thank you. How about now?
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you, dear?
Aliko TV. Kendeza dobozi ku TV yo. Kendeza ke dobozi. Okay, bakujje ko lwakube dobozi badagala kwewulira ku TV. Baba kujja ko straight mu byoma. Hello.
Hello, Farida.
Yes, mukwano. Wasu zote.
Weleza.
Kale nawe we bali kulaba.
Iye oli otya.
Muzanyi mulungi the best in ne munsi yonna.
Webale nnyo mukwano.
Kaskit ke kikosinga okwagala. Wanji?
Ono Mumbejja bite.
Okay, Mumbejja. Webale tubuza ko line yote bade very clear. Omulala hello. Hello. Yes, Sebo.
Jebaleko Sebo oli otya.
Okay. Yes, Sebo oli ku TV amasimu olusi kyekingana okukwata amasimu temubeera steady ate nga tubeera obudde bubeera butugwako mangu kati mwetereze tukomeo tukwate endala nga 5 kati Ann olwe nali shoje mwasa kokola ndoza ku Imperial Royal yali ya end of that one wayingira ku stage noyogera ku ojoku noyogera ku fani ya okuba nti okyanonya omwana akyaganye bwadde eri ebbali tagamba ne banekana akakazi ke nayingiza mu bulamu bwange
omanyi nti kati actually the truth is buli lwenyimirira ku stage nenkola jokes about ojoka jokes zetu batu ezisinga yabazimpadde yabazi agamba meanwhile I think people will laugh when you talk about this because tumanyi ky'abantu kye baagala okuwulira because I know we know people are waiting for me to give birth I am also waiting so tukimanyi so we just get what we have in our lives and we use it to our advantage as long as he knows if I was in the serious business I wouldn't. What business do you have talking about you not having children with your husband? No. But I'm in the comedy business and he knows and understands. Na wona munange nefuna omusajja yasomako. Asomyeko mute otherwise bandi badde bakuba kansi.
Singa bakutadde ku.
Aha, because by bully the Gerard on screen, Gerard Rutaro, Philip Deke by bully them, then I go joke.
Naye tomu
ntandikirawa
tomugamba wayi gena yigena muchungu wefumbire sina budde lero ndi
kudiruki
mukambwe
kudiruki
mukambwe
si mukambwe
oba yakusoma bwataka
akugonza because ojja kuyomba takuddemu throwing tantrums agambe no me I think things akusirikira akuleka n'ogamba obwaye byenjogera kirabika tebabitegere nabiteeka kakafaananyi kanyuma bannange can distracting no kun distracting I can't believe that's me
can distracting so what kind of person are you at home okera kumacha n'ofumba olunaku lwo
okera kumacha ng'omuntu ategeera n'enkubako ku mannyo n'enaaba nenyambalako obuntu obusaamusaamu awo mansula nnyo ewaka
nakulaba mu kavidiyo ka dance
nerebyi
omukubaganya
nena nejjo nakubisisaako akafaananyi nenkateeka ku Facebook because nabadde ngenda through content nga
mama ofaanana mama
nkugambye madam beautiful mujja mulaba so nempitayitamukawo mu content nokubisa akafaananyi nengamba going through my content biki so omuntu omu nakommenti nga nagamba otandise omansula I think akafaananyi ke nakubye nabadde nyambadde hot pants ne t-shirt ng'alaba wano ne wano nengamba nayo n'omusajja naye bannange mansudde biriwa naye waka mansula
oba toyambalirako ddala
Okay, mansula nnyo nteekamu hot pants awo niteekako ka vest because tanzikiriza obitwala mu kibuga so kambyambalire wakati listabirabe
wakakugana
ngakeera balina ebintu ebyakola ku kompyuta awo ne tunywayoko ka breakfast awo nga sinava wakamba mukyala enanga olufuluma gate nenfuka kansime gwe mumanyi oli naye wakasobola bitwalayo ebyo
akugamba nyabo togenda kwambala bose
tajja nabbi kugamba
akuberiiso weka
tajja azina oba owulira it's like I think the job that I do yes it sneaks up on me sometimes oluusi nesanga nga nyombye nga bwe nyomba mu skits naye ate in my real life I believe I'm normal. I'm even boring when I'm at home.
Okay. You want to have kids? Njagala bameka.
Njagala y'abaana babiri boka. Just evidence ntinza. Nedda mukwano.
Kwatagaba anikansi.
Let me tell you. Njagala y'abaana babiri. Because njagala kulabirira abaana abalala abaliwo. Abatayina abesanga nga webali naye nga tebalina abakwatako. So bwe mbafunye abanga ababiri. Mbasobola okumanya nti ambano ngenda bawa quality life. Male mfuneke ekirala kyensobola kuwa abalala abatayina because already I'm doing that. I already started a Kansime Foundation naka abaana 3 for this year 30 candidates. I started with ewafeeyo najjayo Kanungu Mparo Kitanga nenzijjayo 10 Kabale primary nenzijjayo 10 abagalo genda boarding ne tubateka boarding batandise kati so bemba nina abaana abo ate nga amanyi nti buli mwaka nja kuba kusinzira ku Katonda biki byagenda okuba nga mpadde nga nyongerako enamba ate kati ewange nebwenzalayo babiri bani na evidence nti
twesanga ng'ogambya kati bano benina abamalaza ne bwe sifuna bange
nedda ne Katonda akimanyi njagala yawo kabange omu oba babiri that's it then nfune ebisigadde mpeeko ku balala ababimpadde ndaba gye bivuddeeyo gye muli.
Okay, kati bana abaana boina bokunganya oina home mubateeka oba buli omu mulabirira owe.
It's not a home because I'm trying to make it work for me in terms of scheduling. So nagenda mu ssomero lyange Kabale primary lye nasomeramu nenzijjamu abaana 10 nga bali mu candidate class because I only pick candidates. I'm starting with candidates because mba njagala undabe determination yo mu P7 bwe nkugamba nti nkusasulide P7 yo yonna bwokola bulungi jolaga oba yagala genda gayazo oba yagala genda wa nja kusasula ogendeyo awo omwana omuwa motivation from first time teekwasa nera me I look for needy brilliant children. You have to want to go to school first of all. Siri NGO nti zina ziri awo zitudde nedda. I want to pay for people who know and understand the value of education but just cannot afford it. So I got 10 kids from Kabale primary nefuna 10 children musomero lya tata wange Kitanga primary nenfuna 10 children ewaba mama Kanungu nenzija abana 10 so ntandise nabo ate nkimanyi it is going to keep growing and you know now if you have started with candidates you can only imagine how much school fees I'll be paying when they are in S1 the next you know S1 is the hardest with all that money.
You have been blessed
kugambye nera Katonda nabyabiraba akola budget nga bwe nkola budget naye akola budget alaba
ayongeza
I'm budgeting on his faith I'm banking on his grace and faith.
Okay waliwo ali kusimu tugezeko tulabe batucyankalanyira nga tubasala ko hello
hello
wanji wanji
simu yani
oyagala simu ya Ann naye naawe simu
oyina peni
ani muwe simu gwomanyi bye mwagala okwogera
oyagala nkuwe simu 0772 ojiina endala ziwulidde it's 772 kati endala kanzikuweereze ku bluetooth.
Okay omulala hello agenda kulwao bambi alinze tekako bluetooth yo hello
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you nyabo?
I'm fine. This is Immaculate.
Yes, Immaculate.
I always like your show. I'm so happy to meet you today and can see you.
Which to give good one asanyo.
Na fetwe sinyo kule.
Nakatenyo idea yayogedde ko kuyamba abaana. Bambi nyingi nnyo era nkusabire ssala nti Mukama akwongere okugabirira ayongere okutuza ekitone ekyo ankwe n'ogwo omutima omuyambi.
Webale nnyo Immaculate.
Ayongere okuwa bambi ssente.
Webale.
Kale nyabo beera bulungi. Omulala hello.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, Eddie.
Hello.
Tukuulira sebo.
Bambi ikasime bambi muntu mulungi kometize nungi.
Webale nnyo sebo.
Bambi mbadde njagala aberenga system mulambe kikala akozesa nnyo oluzungu ate mulimu abamu abatasoma.
Oli mutuufu nange simanyi oba nabaaki.
Anti lwakuba maketi yo yagejja yawanvuwa. Kale Eddie webale nnyo kuba essimu omulala gwasembayo hele. Yes, Nyabo.
Oh, no, nga umate.
Nnyo.
Hello.
Banange hani.
Banange eddoboozi lyo nga liwooma nnyo naawe olimba.
Banange oyingira nze.
Toncamula naawe tuli mu bantu. You come from Mpalo Kitanga.
Yes.
Ati kiri kugambisa oluzungu ni kitogamba olukiga kubanka kino kubanzire mu ngambo Luganda togamba olukiga tukagamba olukiga. Ayi. Ate kati bongo ofuse duplicate. Geza. Kale. Webale kulaba kasho. Amina. Webale.
Bye. Webale nyondo. An soko mbulira abantu abera nebitone byabwe natuka kiseera nga aweddemu nogwamu ne oba muyimbi nogwaye eddoboozi banerifa something happens gosubira kukivamu
ekiva ku muntu kugwamu mululu. And that's one thing that is actually putting a strain on entertainment here in Uganda, as in oba oli muyimbi oba zanya oba you're dancing okulema okufuna abantu abakwetoolodde bokola nabo so that ekintu okigaziye tekiba kichoweka kibeere kyabwe bwe kiba kichoweka kiba kitegeeza gwagenda okikuuma weka gwagenda okwefaako bakogeddeko ki gwagenda okwewozaako tobeere mu buli bbaala nti omuntu bw'akogerako ebikyamu onaabayo weewozeeko kiba kirungi nnyo n'obeera ne anti nze mbayita ninjas n'obeera n'abantu abakwetoolodde abakuze naawe ne team and the team that me I have two managers nina manager wa wano nina ne manager ali off the continent manager wangu wano omita Kai Emma nkoze naye for about 9 years kato omuntu ngoyo aba kutegeera bulungi nnyo nti bwoba ofuuse kyamanyi nti toli tekimugana akugamba what's this that's not like you you togenda smoking about togenda kola about because that's not who you are then bwe ina abantu nga Fun Factory nga bakwetoolodde nga bakulaba otunda nali ntunda obumonde ku Duwinton Road natunda burgers before the show nali mbakolera scarves nga mbasiba enviri nampaka 12 ezinzize ewaka abo abaana aba Fun Factory
ebyo nawe gwo abikola
ebyo byonna nga
omonde wabujja kabali
daddy yali ateeka like 4 sacks nali nziyita egunia nali ngamba nti teeka egunia nya ku bus nga simanyi nti mu Luganda bakiyita kya egunia eguti so nga nkube simu ngamba teeka egunia nga nya ez'obumonde ziteeke ku bus nenzikima at about 4 o'clock in the morning twali tulina kapika pakatono nga pita
Road
nga siri ku university nga nvudde ku university nenga ndi mu Fun Factory because amajaga ga comedy
tegaliwo
nera bwe mba mujja mu comedy nga musubira ya majja success in your exams
oyino kuba muyiya
oyino kubanga oli muyiya ate ngo omanyi nti okyagala nti tewali kigendo oku discouraging so for someone who saw me lifting nenzija Irish I used to distribute National Theatre Buddies ba eyantinda nali mpereza Deborono wakatogono ku Duwinton Road now kuliko bona peti obo ngamba wa Irish bonna then sawa 2 nenzire wakane nebaka kati nenzuka sawa nga 7 nezija wano mu kati bwaba okozeeko ebintu ngebyo you can't be artificial around those people so ekintu kyogamba nti okugwamu nina abantu nina creative team how many musicians do you know that have a team that is there to create for them?
Not so many. Baina writer oli namukubira nagani
nakaiba kabene stand up comedians aba agenda kwekolera bu content awabu notinga down what I'm not saying if you are beginning stand up comedian ononye team no nayo kukulakulana kusinzira bantu ki abakwetoolodde abakola ebintu that are towards your success because I have a team of about 17 people my team, the Kansime team. 17 people, the crew, as in, if anything goes wrong on social media, there's someone responsible. I manage my pages myself. I can't blame anyone if anything happens on my page. If on YouTube anything happens, I have an IT person, website, over my business, I don't close business. My manager is the one who closes business. Johnson Mujungu manages in the diaspora. So, na ebyo byonna kyengamba nti mululu, ebyo byonna bikitegeza nti kofuna konna okagabana. Bompita nenkucharginga katugambe emitwalo 10 nenkucharginga kwejo emitwalo 10 ejange jiba mukaga 40% obo ino okudistributing, there's a portion that goes to all the departments. But for many artists, if you tell them nti akabwe bajja kugabako agamba oyo ajja kuba akola
yabaddeyo nga ntu yana
abuuza oyo ajja kuba akola ki anti they going to manage your social media, then ono ajja ku negotiating a deals, then igwe onajja kola makeup ningamba ebyo nasobola byekolera. You've seen artists who she's the makeup artist, she dresses herself up, she MCs, she negotiates businesses, babatambude kesi ya microphone ya jinonya. Now how do you expect such an artist to grow? Mululu. Nebweziba mitwala 5 kebe milioni muntu jokwerede nti ojagala nnyo bwoba ojagala yonna kitegeeza omusango guli kugwe weka. But if you distribute and you give other people opportunity, ekintu kiba kyabwe nakyo. That means they protect it with you.
Oh, okay. Njukidde ku page yo Facebook. Kizibu okusanga omuntu avuma ano. Toyina nnyo negativity ku page yo. Apart from one day. Ekintu kyatubonga naawe. Kolo nagendayo ne ngamba olaba ne ani bamuvumye. Wabula bakuvuma. Bantu banyiga. Waddake wakano gamba
naye ate nenemu okwejjusa kuba kyekifaananyi. Ndoza na atero kiteeka mu bedroom just takyagalayo just tayagala kigendeyo naye kyandigendayo for me I feel like that's like the best pick we kigenda ogenda ne change ne Obama ne change ne Queen Elizabeth tekisobola agendawo because you know bobo jamu Kampala anyone ngavude javude ne bobo va wano Masaka obo ine kirubiro banange Museveni na mpitako ne nagamba tukubiseka akafaananyi president wangoyo ngenda ine nkubisa akafaananyi. So
katigwe chakutwala kwolo kumukologo kwolo kwaliko kwa kifananyi.
I didn't even know I was going to take the picture. Nali ngeze kumu entertaining and he laughed and cried and it was a good feeling to see the president laughing. Nema nentura then youth minister nagamba wali wakana ako akakogeredda akakukoleddemu katemba bakaita kansime imirira oyagala ke kifananyi ndoza yaleta na marana sentence na pause ile danga ni went Ngan smiles. No, ku page banvuma. You can't be loved by everyone. But the beauty is when you post something, you need to know chivuddewa. Ekintu kyo postinze wosobola ki defending. Then
katkola we defending otya.
Atena defending anti anagamba a picture with my president. Kataomba asobola ku defending a coach. Bwe bayogera bingi ne boogera nga dinamu bafani zabani na ninjas bange bondoza bayambala uniform ne bagamba tuli mu defense department kati boyo bajja ku page ne bagamba ye wanononya so the ones who now counter but sometimes it's not I think it's not respectful for you to utter back at the fans especially boba tonyonyola wabula obaddiza bye bakuwadde atobona abagala balikinge post ye naddako ngomazo bagamba obazo balangira no bagamba by the way kato bana likinga batya birala byo
nenga waliko part of the project ya tubonga nawe
no
go just wagenda kumukolo
I wasn't nagenda kumukolo nensanyuka nyonyonyo so mtyanyo
bagamba yambadde yellow ne bagamba ana
it was the dress code they said that the dress code was yellow so I had to wear yellow
okay ati bakusonyiwa
bansonyiwa banjagala nnyo bantu bange
tebasobola kuvambwe batya tugenda and tubulira about the I am Kansime show.
I am Kansime show mugenda kujja mutegere Kansime yani bichebyo byembadde nkola bichebyo ebireetedde abantu okunjagala ennyo so far from home buli lwentambula ne mulira Annie sold out Annie what Annie yagenze na meeting on. I've met people that I am so happy to meet, but Chester Tegera is how they are happy to meet me. As in, nzijukira the first day, for instance, na meeting n'omukyala Yvonne Chakachaka. Mbutuufu nze ngamanyi Yvonne mu bode ye, mu bulungi bwe, mu budde bwe, ambassador wa UN afuna dyo obudde obutunula alabe clip ya Kansime because I didn't expect her to even know that I'm there. Naye wali odduseeko okulaba omuntu nga weekozaakoza nga naye yeebwalabwala. Mwena ne mujja nga mwebwala. Akwebwalabwala omwebwalabwala. And you know, such things, they make you... Kati ekintu kya I am Kansiime, I want to share everything, the friends I have met, the things I have done, and why am I even doing it now? Why am I doing a show this Thursday, not last Thursday, not the other year? Kati nkimanyi nti bwe nyimirira ku stage, ekintu kyengenda okuba nga nkola, kijja kuba kiri worth all the wait. It will have a lot of preparation included, because wabula mbepikidde kyobola banataddeko 4 different characters, so that omanye nti bw'oba omanyi Annie ng'omwana ojja mulaba omunyumirwe, bw'oba omanyi Annie nga corporate omuyombi wamulabako ayimba, wabula wakazi kye wamulaba kyonna ng'akola Annie gw'ogenda okulaba kwolunako. I'm going to be on stage for 2.5 hours. Gets open at 6 o'clock. It's at Imperial Royal. Gets open at 6 o'clock. Please keep time. It's a red carpet function. Bambi basi
tujenga twemazeeyo.
Mpwegairide. Bw'oba toyina kateeteeyi akalungi oyinayo mukwano gwo gw'omanyi. Nga ye ebiteeteeyi ebibye byonna. Byonna biri bwe biti. Borrow one and come on that red carpet. I will be there. Ngenda Sirok is the one hosting the reception. So we are going to have a bar there. I'll be serving free cocktails. So come early to soke kubiseko bufananya ku red carpet yao tunyoko bu cocktails zao, and 7 o'clock sharp mbega idi debambite muyomba. If you come after 7 and the show has started, it will have started. You will enjoy what you will have found, but the show starts on 7 o'clock sharp. The show starts.
Okay, bajja kubeerayo ku 7 o'clock sharp. Tugenda n'olwo. Neka tubalekera akafaananyiko kali akavideo
akalungi kali akatujjeko. Akalungi ako.
Kale mubeere bulungi tudde munate enkya. Bye bye. This is Anne Kansiime ku mukolo gwe ogw'obufumbo. Thank you, Anne. Obadde ogamba
Meanwhile, I'm married. Did you know? I'm also equally surprised. You're not the only one who is surprised. I'm also here waiting patiently for my husband, Gerard, to change his mind. As in, I have a feeling he's going to wake up one day and he's like, what have I been doing, risking my life to be with this girl?
Radiant hair polisher before styling, and finish your magical look with the Radiant Olive Sheen Spray. Your big day is definitely on. Radiant. Feel yourself.
NTV, turning on your world.
know Blue Band helps my child grow. That's why I never miss a slice.
Every slice spread with Blue Band is an opportunity for your child to grow.
Spread every slice, Mom.
Will do.
Isa yeyalagula Yesu ng'alijja emabega we. Akali mu bufunzi.
Yesu ne Isa ani yasookawo munne?
Isa.
Buli lw'otayogera na muntu kutegeera bimukwatako tosobola kumutegeera yenna. Tekisoboka.
Era enako yakatugamba nti Abaganda mbwanjala jakasukira eggumba gyegenda. Kale akagamba ako kanuma.
Obote. Wateekwa okubaawo eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa. Eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa okutuusa okunnyonnyola kwabwe okutegeerekeka okutangaza ebibakwatako. Konkalo the British Empire. Naye nga Wakamu bimuyita, Wakamu amuyitanga mutya?
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. Kuwuliriza, kufumiitiriza, kukola, kwogera. Bina.
Tuwaye.
Bwe yamala okutuula ngenda okutunula mu kibatu kyange kino kye ntaddeko bwe nga muvaamu ebiwuka ng'ensolosozi.
Ebimu byewuunyisa, binakuwaza, ebirala bikyusa obulamu.
Omuntu atasomye atya n'okuyingira ofiisi naye ng'omanyi nti nina omukyala n'abaana awaka nakinkola nina ne bizinesi naye ntya n'okuyingira ofiisi eno okwennyonnyolako.
Eddoboozi lye njogerako. Tuwaye.
Where did you take her, you bastard?
You became my enemy, Pilar. You decided to play a very dangerous game, and that has consequences. And one of those consequences is that you won't be able to see your sister again.
Where did you take her,
No,
you
no, 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 no,
bastard?
Pilar, don't get rough. Don't get rough. Don't get rough.
Mrs. Eva. Mr. Renato, I'm going to identify the body. Mr. Renato, would you like to come?
How's he gonna get so much money? His account is always overdrawn at the bank and he's always asking for loans.
I don't know. Maybe from the sale of some collection.
No. I hope that what you're imagining isn't true. Because if it is, and Rodolfo is the traitor, he will be rotting in jail. He will. Next to the one who bought the collection.
Have a seat.
See this? This is your great-grandson's father. A man with a very dark past. And if you're willing to compensate me very well, I can give you the details.
You're an idiot. Why are you showing me a picture? Don't you realize that I am blind?
Oh, excuse me. It's just that it seems you can see very well.
I can see with my other senses. And because of that, I can sense the kind of scumbag that you really are. When are you going to stop blackmailing me?
No, this is not blackmail. I am just thinking that the information I have has a high value.